Well, we're out here in the middle, ready for the toss. We've got our two umpires and match referee, as well as our mascot this evening, Amelia. Welcome to you, Amelia. And of course, our two captains for Kent, that's Sam Billings, and of course for Essex, Simon Harmer. Over to you, gents. We've got the coin. Up it goes. Essex have won the toss. Harmy, good to see you again. You've won the toss. What are you going to do tonight and why?
We're going to have a bowl first. Yeah, I think under lights here, small boundary, difficult to defend. So, yeah, that's our theory behind it.
And back at Chelmsford, Friday night this time, under the lights. This crowd is going to get right behind us. I know that must be a special feeling for you guys.
Yeah, Friday nights at Chelmsford are always something you look forward to. Rowdy crowd, there's a few boys already. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Obviously, things haven't been going our way, but we still got a lot of cricket to play in this tournament, and hopefully we can start that winning streak tonight.
Team news for Essex tonight?
Same team as last night.
Go well, Harmy. Thank you. Sam, welcome back to Chelmsford. You haven't won the toss. Does that change a great deal for you?
No, not at all, really. Obviously, a used pitch and a hybrid pitch, so not too unhappy about batting first. So hopefully get a good score on the board and, defend that later.
And a disappointing result for you guys midweek, looking to bounce back with a good performance for yourselves, I'm sure.
It was probably our first real off night, to be honest. So it just happens in this format of the game. And we've been playing some really good cricket throughout this tournament, so beating some really good sides. So hopefully we can beat another good side tonight.
And team news for Kent this evening?
Yeah, Joe Denley's back, which is a huge boost, obviously. And Wes Agar's out for Nathan Gilchrist. So, pretty much the same team.
Appreciate your time, Sam. Go well tonight. Well, that concludes the toss in the middle. Essex have won the toss and will bowl first.
When in the middle of the game at the toilet.
What a time to leave Andy Murray. What a sign-off from the great man there on our Game Changers show. We're interrupting here on DAB because we have live cricket for you. Essex against Kent from the county ground here in Chelmsford. Myself, Matt Cole, and Victoria Polly. Both sides, I would say, desperate for a win. Certainly very much looking for one. Kent to respond to a pretty drab display against Gloucestershire midweek and get them perhaps with more wins than defeats. Essex for their first one of the season, which has come as a big surprise, I think, to everyone outside Chelmsford. We'll get Victoria's views on that in just a second. Essex have won the toss and will bowl first, so Kent will be, by dint of that, in first. The Spitfires, they make two changes. Joe Denley and Nathan Gilchrist coming in for Grant Stewart and Wes Agar. We believe they've been rotated and rested, those two bowlers, rather than injured. Certainly Kent will have an eye on their game at Blackpool on Sunday. A quick turnaround to be in county championship action against Lancashire. Victoria, good evening, and as I said, Essex, the elephant in the very much here at the county ground is, goodness me, what on earth is going on?
Good evening. Yeah, it's been a tight turnaround from last night for Essex. That loss by 1 run against Middlesex at Lords. Really still struggling to get heads round that, I think, and how Essex were in that winning position. And it was really an innings of two halves. Firstly, the openers getting the starts and the likes of Paul Walter and Jordan Cox coming in and getting starts as well, and then just not going on to make those scores, and in the end there was just too much for the younger middle order to do. And it's really a case of when things aren't going your way, they really don't go your way when you're looking for that first win of the competition. Essex have gone unchanged this evening, and I think that's fair enough, because it's not a question of quality. It is just about going on to make those scores. Bowling was much improved last night as well, so it'll be interesting to see how Essex fare this evening. They have won the toss and elected to bowl first here at a beautifully sunny Chelmsford. We always enjoy a Friday night at Chelmsford, as do the Chelmsford crowd, and there may be a few green seats dotted about the ground, but I think it's fair to say the atmosphere, as always, is buzzing, and the crowd will very much be looking forward to this one.
Yeah, Adam Hollyoake said the same. I said, what do you make of the of going to Chelmsford in the T20 Blast? And he reminded me that he ended his career at Essex, so with 8 games here. So he's no stranger to it, but a fierce rivalry, certainly between the two sets of supporters here, but the sets of players that know each other very, very well indeed, of course, having played together or played against each other in the top division of the county championship until last season, of course, when Kent were relegated, and perennially in the South Group as well. Kent's opening partnership, Daniel Bell-Drummond and Tawanda Mayeye, come out to start the innings for them. You're listening to BBC Radio Kent on DAB and online with BBC Essex via the BBC Sport website and app, just to remind you, as Essex go into their huddle in a blue and red kit, a bit like Kent's really, but just in different proportions, I suppose. I should say, sorry, dark blue and maroon for Kent, yet lest I be hung near the Spitfires flag, but yeah, they're breaking up now. So I think it has come as a surprise to many. Obviously, quality side Essex, and I can only go back to last season in Kent, just winning the 4 matches and finishing bottom of the South Group and being asked what on earth has happened to Kent, and it's the same thing. Momentum just, I mean, it is perennially, again, it's a big thing in T20 cricket, isn't it? It really can go bad and go downhill quickly and hard to arrest sometimes.
Yeah, and it's not a case of bad players, but I think it's been that problem of the batting and the bowling not quite firing, and when those two things aren't happening at the same time, one can't save the other. So they've had some really difficult matches where the bowling has been expensive. They've struggled to take the key wickets at the key times, but then there's also been the problem of not putting enough runs on the board as well. Jordan Cox, who will be very familiar to Kent fans, has been a big bonus. Essex getting him back because he was away on England Lions duty. He returned last week, got a couple of important scores in the games against Glamorgan and that rain-affected match at Sussex. Last night he made a good start as well, but they probably could have just done with him to go on and continue for Essex as we are set to get underway from the Graham Gooch end. It's Shane Snater to start things off for Essex, and it is a dot ball to Tawanda Mayeye to start with. And
it's now officially the Graham Gooch end rather than the Hayes Close end, is that right?
Yes,
make sure I'm on the P's and Q's here.
The Graham Gooch end, which is what fans will be familiar as the Hayes Close end with the houses and the trees, and then the end we're at nearest the river is the Sir Alistair Cook end. So you'll be hearing those referred to this evening on commentary. Shane Snater is in, that's up in the air and lofted over mid-on by Mayeye for the first boundary from the second ball of the evening. That's 4 runs on the board for Kent.
Yeah, it's been a decent nick to Mayeye throughout this series so far. High of 70 in that, well, it's really a slugfest at Somerset when Kent were the first team to beat them this season in the Blast, and a 158 partnership with Daniel Bell-Drummond, double figures in every game. He's made starts so far in every one.
Snater is in over the wicket. That one's clipped into the leg side. Mayeye sets off for the single, and that will bring Daniel Bell-Drummond to the crease for the first time to face a ball. Had a rather good day against Somerset, or good evening I should say, against Somerset, scoring that century, which has obviously been key at the top of the order.
Yeah, and our friends, our colleagues at Somerset were quick to take all credit for it, because he went to Millfield School and was coached by Mark Davis, who's part of their commentary team, so they couldn't lose basically on that evening.
5 on the board then for Kent as Shane Snater makes his way in the sunshine for Essex, and that one just pops up at Bell-Drummond and drops into the pitch, and Jordan Cox, who has the gloves for Essex, just comes round to pick that one up since Adam Rossington dropped out of the T20 Blast side last week. Jordan Cox, which we haven't seen too much of since he's been at Essex with the gloves because of that thumb injury that he's been struggling with, but he is fit to keep in the shorter form of the game. In comes Snater. Bell-Drummond just drives that one straight back past the bowler. Good fielding from mid-on, who tumbles across to get that one. I think that might be Charlie Allison over there in the sunshine.
He's got a decent record against his former side as Jordan Cox, certainly. Some steely resolve for him. We'll look up the stats in a minute, but certainly in 4-day cricket and in T20 as well.
Single added to the score then as Snater is into Mayeye, who drives that one out into the offside, straight to the fielder that is Noah Thane for Essex. And that's the end of the first over, and Kent have 6 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's a bit of a look, I think, from both batters in that one. Good shot from Tawanda Mayeye first up for the boundary. We'll see how they go from here. So yeah, they have, as you said, forged a decent opening partnership. Zach Crawley, when he was playing the first 4 games, played at batted at number 3 for Kent, and their intention was to keep the opening partnership the same all the way through the series. So Zach Crawley rather enjoyed himself actually during that time. It wasn't his nose wasn't put out of joint at all. He said he enjoyed having a few more deliveries just to play himself in. Apparently, there we go. I think if you're Zach Crawley, you probably can afford to play yourself in, but there's not many players that can't, that don't want to go from the get-go.
He does have certain licence, doesn't he?
Mohamed Amir then, left arm over the wicket to Daniel Bell-Drummond, who crouches, drives through the offside. It's a bump ball. So shouts of catch. I thought he hit that straight into the ground, but certainly the fielder at point has made a decent stop. Is that Shane Snater there? It is indeed.
Yeah. It is, yeah. By the way, good day for the Essex women earlier on in their T20 match. A long trip for them to Durham, but it was a fruitful trip. They won by 6 wickets, bringing a few more details on that as we go through the evening.
Here's Amir then too. Bell-Drummond once again just drops down on that one into the onside, and it's another dot ball. Good start this one by the Pakistani bowler, Mohamed Amir, who made a real impact, I know, on the Kent players. This is some time ago when he came over as a youngster in the Pakistan side that played at Canterbury, and particularly the bowlers were coming off purring about this young talent. He bowls now to Daniel Bell-Drummond, drives that one, and she's a cut in the end. He's opened the face of that, it's fielded by Snater, going really quickly. Decent fielding, it's not far away from him, but along the ground. I thought he was trying to go straighter there, Daniel Bell-Drummond, but he does play the ball very late. He'll just get himself a single though. This is a good start from Essex.
Yeah, probably the best we've seen Mohamed Amir bowl last night at Lords since his return to Essex, and very level-headed in his assessment of the match in the post-game interview as well.
Bowls now to Miyeye, who just chips this into mid-wicket. Fielder coming in from the leg side boundary, sidearms it in, and just a 1 more to the total. It's a good start from Mohamed Amir, and his figures were good last night. Did he back that up by the performance?
Yeah, I think it was even in the early overs where Essex didn't necessarily take the wickets in the power play, he kept things tight, and he said, well, you know, it's pleasing as an individual, but it's the team you want to win, and they needed the batters to go on and make those bigger scores.
Yeah, bowls now to Bell-Drummond, takes the bottom hand off as he tries to force that one past Simon Harmer at mid-off. It just runs up to the Essex skipper, and it's 1 more, so just 3 off this over. Really tidy one from Mohamed Amir. It's to Jimmy. His first shot looks like the best timed stroke so far. They made just 9 from the first 11 deliveries. The towering figure of Paul Walter now comes into cover. Try and stop that shot from Twanda Miyeye, who faces now. It's a shorter from Mohamed Amir, and is swung away on the pull by Miyeye just for a single. Great start by the Pakistan bowler. 4 off the second over of the piece here at Chelmsford. And the Kent Spitfires 10 for none.
Yeah, good start there from Mohamed Amir at the Sir Alistair Cook end. Just to run you through from earlier then, Essex women restricting Durham to 101 for 8. They took some vital wickets in the power play. There were a couple for Esme McGregor, who's had a really good T20 campaign. Kate Koppak going in the action as well. 1 for Eva Gray and Sophia Smale as well. And they won by 6 wickets. A bit of a mix in the scores though. Lauren Winfield-Hill at the top of the order with 29. The Australian Maddie Penner, the next top scorer, with 23. Shane Snater's going to continue from the Graham Gooch end for Essex. That was hit into the ground again on that occasion by Twanda Miyeye. Just struggling to get that ball away at the moment. They take a single to move on to 11.
Yeah, not timing the ball particularly well. I'm not sure if that's more to do with the bowling than the pitch at this stage, but Chelmsford's known for being a decent scoring ground, isn't it? And the outfield will be very, very fast indeed. Should Kent manage to push into the outfield at this point, but at the moment they're having trouble doing that.
Playing on the hybrid pitch this evening as Shane Snater is in over the wicket, and that's pulled away by Bell-Drummond. He does pick out the man at deep square leg, and they'll just get the single. So keeping the scoreboard ticking over, but the boundary's just proving hard to come by at the moment for Kent in the power play.
Yeah, Sam Billings made a point of that when he lost the toss and was asked, you know, how do you feel about that? He said it's fine as a hybrid service. We're pretty confident that I'll put on a big score and then and bowl at it, but we'll see how that turns out for him.
Snater is in, and that's just defended by Mayeye for a dot ball, which gets an applause from the Essex field and the supporters as well. That nice hum of a Friday evening in Chelmsford, just going around the ground at the moment.
Yeah, I do get the impression here these two are trying to force the issue, certainly in the power play, as they will be just two fielders outside the ring, but just not being able to at the moment.
Snater's on his way in, and that's lofted over the ring and will go for one bounce four from Mayeye. Does find that boundary rope to help Kent on their way and move on to 16. He moves on to 12.
Yeah, hits the ball very hard to Andy Mayeye, and he knows if he clears the infield there, doesn't he, that any risk is going to be minimal. There's no fielders out there, wide open spaces at extra cover. Decent shot. And going along okay at the moment, but Kent certainly would have liked a bit more of a spirited start, I think, here. 16 for none.
Snater is in. Oh, that one's clipped off the bottom edge, not where he intended it to go as they come through for the single, and it's picked up in the leg side. Fair to say, it's when you look at the Kent side over the past few years, it's rather settled in the top order. Very similar names when you compare who we've seen in previous years, and it is just that, well, I appreciate the injuries that are in the Kent squad, but it's always the rotation in terms of the bowling lineup. Yeah,
absolutely. They've really struggled to find a settled lineup in the bowling. You're absolutely right.
As Snater is in, and that one's clubbed away into the leg side by Daniel Bell-Drummond. He earns himself a 4 better from Kent in that third over. They've moved to 21 without loss.
Yeah, very decent shot indeed from Daniel Bell-Drummond. As Kent listeners would have heard me say in the Gloucestershire match after the Somerset century, he said very calmly, "Oh, I felt good." He said, but not for the first. He said for the first 16 or 20 runs, just couldn't really seem to time it. So I was letting Tawanda do the job at the other end, and then he said just sort of brushed it away and said, and then I found a way to find the boundaries. It's like as simple as that. There is. If only cricket was as simple as that for us, but for Daniel Bell-Drummond, as soon as he started to time the ball, we raced to that ton. But Essex a really good start here. 21 for none then off 3, and it will be Simon Harmer, South African spinner, to bowl the 4th here from the South Cook end over the wicket. Michael Pepper just throws him the ball. And Jordan Cox is doing some traffic control. A man pushed back to backward square. There's a man at deep in wicket as well. This is Mayeye up in the air with a fielder get underneath it. It's a close run thing. Might just go over the boundary. I think it has. It's gone for 6. Victoria very sensibly pointing towards the camera feed that we have. I'm just watching the umpire, and it's got out of my sight. I'll get used to that. You called it a 6, though, Victoria.
Yeah, I could see it was going miles.
And this one straight down the ground. That'll be big as well from Tawanda Mayeye, and there's no man at long on. And this time, so that's a big old blow from the Kent opener. He goes 6-6 indeed to start the over. And Simon Harmer's brought himself into the attack, and Mayeye has taken the attack to the experienced Essex captain. Rocks on the back foot this time, just nudges it into the onside. Luke Benkenstein comes into field at mid-wicket, and that'll be a single, but an explosive start to this 4th over. Some half-hearted boos there. I'm not quite sure what that is. It could just be a personal thing. Who knows? Quicker one from Bahama. It's swung away by Daniel Bell-Drummond behind backwards of square, splitting the field there, and seen it just alighting on middle and leg, has launched into that one, helped it on its way, and that's 4 runs for the Spitfires. So this is their first big over, and 17 off the first 4 balls. I would wager a relative rarity for Simon Harmer. Bell-Drummond just settles here, And a quicker ball, appealing an LBW on the full. It's gone down the leg side. And it is leg by, so it's hit the pad. Simon Harmer saying, he was almost running off to celebrate, wasn't he? Not quite on his lap of honour, but going off towards mid-wicket. And we get a replay from behind the batter, which isn't terribly helpful. All I can tell you is the ball did end up going down the leg side, if that's any indication. One leg by, and it's Mayeye pushing the ball back to Harmer. Dot ball at the end of it, but 17-18, including the leg by then, off the first Simon Harmer over. And Kent accelerating through the fourth.
Yeah, that's not what the Essex captain would have wanted for his first over of the evening. It was part of the plan to get Mohamed Amir on at the Graham Gooch end as well. Essex will be determined to try and get at least one win from this first block of T20 matches, and I think particularly after the nature of the defeat last night, 1 run. I was looking up earlier the smallest margins of the defeat when it comes to Essex and the T20 Blast. The last one, I'll tell you, as Mohamed Amir is in, and that one's clipped into the leg side. We'll find the man out at deep square leg, and they'll just come through for a single. Previously to that 1-run defeat by Middlesex at Lords last night was a 2-run defeat by Surrey here at Chelmsford. That was back in 2017, and that was from a full game, because the next one is a 3-1 defeat by Kent at Canterbury, but that was in a shortened match, probably, I'm assuming, due to bad weather. So Kent are 40 without loss. Mohamed Amir, left arm over the wicket, shorter ball, which is played gently into the leg side as they'll just trot through for a single, picked up in the deep. 41, and Bell Drummond moves on to 13.
Just wondering if that Kent game was the one where the heavens were very kind to Kent, put it that way.
2007, does it ring a bell?
Oh, maybe not as long ago as that. Maybe not, no. So I'm not suggesting any good fortune for Kent ever winning here. It's always just by skill, but yeah, they certainly have one of those here.
Amir is in, fuller delivery, which is driven up to mid-on. They decide to take the quick single as the shy comes in at the stumps. It's well backed up at the other end for Essex. Kent 42 without loss.
Yeah, it's a memorable contest between these two. That one of those games where the Duckworth-Lewis comes in and the thunderstorms came in at the end of the 5th over and Kent were just ahead. And snuck off into the night, I think, after that. It's very grateful for Amir to Mayeye. We can talk about it now. Swings that away. It's really nice, actually. It's not a glance. It's more a low pull from Tawana Mayeye, with Amir just straying onto middle, was he? Middle of the leg. It's a very good shot from Mayeye. He's starting to go through his gears now. And just looking at the replay of that one again. It's behind Tawana Mayeye. Actually, yeah, it's pitched on outside leg stump, hasn't it? He's just helped it. You'd expect to take a boundary from that one. So Mayeye 31 here, Bell Drummond 14 in the 5th. Sorry, Becky, this is your over.
That's fine.
It?
You carry on. Mohamed Amir is in, and that one's driven uppishly by Mayeye. Finds mid off for no run.
It's like, wait a minute, this is an odd over. As in an odd numbered over. I've just chunted on. I'll sit quietly for a bit. That'll help the listeners out as well. It's yeah, 7 off the over so far.
Mayeye is on 31, Bell Drummond at the other end on 14. So Mohamed Amir is taking his time. He's back to his mark, in and bowls. A shorter delivery as appeal for a caught behind. Essex is celebrating. Mayeye is unmoved. Umpires are coming across to potentially have a chat about it.
I'd have to say that Mohamed Amir was a little bit late celebrating that one. That was a no ball, was it? No. It's being handed his cap.
Just end of the over. He's given his cap, and that's the end of that. No early wicket for Essex. End of the over, 46 without loss.
Just dare I say it from the body language, it was a sort of half appeal from Jordan Cox, and then Mohamed Amir joined in a little bit later. So I don't know if that's influenced the umpires at all. It doesn't mean it wasn't out. Certainly the Essex bowler asking the question, and he's having a word with Jordan Cox at the far end now as well. They may be ruining their bad luck on this occasion. But yes, Paul Walter will bowl left arm over the wicket to Daniel Bell Drummond. Has 14 from 12 so far, being outraced by Mayeye, 31 from 18, 46 for none of the Spitfires at the end of the 5th. And it's rather Beldrummer's slower ball. He does cart that away, but one bounce to Noah Thane and throws it in side arm to wicketkeeper Jordan Cox. Good fielding.
Jordan Cox did take a fantastic catch last night from behind the stumps, low down to his left-hand side, if I remember rightly.
He's a very fine cricketer indeed, isn't he? And no wonder Essex are so pleased to have him back, not only from Lions duty but from injury as well. It's Walter Bowles now to Mieye, and lots of bounce, and that could go for 6 over the offside. It does indeed. He's rocked back to Wanda Mieye, made himself just a step of room onto the back foot and has clouted that over point for 6. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, they say it's T20, do keep your eye on the ball. I'm sure the people who sit in those bleachers know that all too well, don't they?
Yes.
But, I don't see a crowd catch. I think everyone's all right from the replay, which is great news. Tawanda Mieye, you're certainly all right. 37 from 19 balls now, going at 2 a ball, and staring around as they just changing the field. So Benkenstein is going to backwards square. Thane Moore at mid-wicket, the 2 outfielders in this final over of the power play. So Walter Bowles jabbed into the offside by Mieye from a good length delivery, just on off stump, and there is no run. So yeah, just 3 into it so far. But Mieye is he's an undoubted talent, but promising is one thing, but you have to capitalise on that. He's got England ambitions and becomes a naturalised Englishman. Here's a Walter to Mieye, just chips that past the man at fine leg, at third rather, inside the circle. I thought it was close for a moment, but there was almost no movement until the ball was well past the fielder, so perhaps from our angle that's a bit deceptive. He's just clipped it, opened the face, a short ball again from Paul Walter, and steered it down to third for 4.
Yeah, really making the most of the end of this power play are the Kent batters here, finding the gaps, punishing the shorter deliveries. 2
to come. Walter comes round the wicket this time to Mieye, who responds by sweeping that away low, and that'll be fielded by Benkenstein. Good throw in. They'll just take a single off that one. Mieye's onto 42 from 22. It's a great strike rate for him so far. Danny Bell-Drummond, a comparatively soporific 15 from 13. Will be very calm and happy watching his teammates at the other end, I'm sure. Last ball of the power play then. Walter to Bell-Drummond, takes it one on. This is a pull. Has he beaten the field? That's a really good shot. Hit that really, really hard from, again, it's a shortish ball from Paul Walter, trying to use the bounce to his advantage, but Bell-Drummond's on that really, really quickly and has thrashed that between the 2 fielders. They weren't too far away from each other, Thane and Benkenstein, but that is definitely gone for 4. So the power play ends with a boundary from Kent. Started a little bit slowly with 6 off the first, 4 off the second, 11 off the third, a big one, 18 off Harmer, and the 4th, 7th off the 5th from Mohammed Amir, and that one has gone for 16 runs, and Kent are 62 for none.
Matt Critchley is going to join the action for the Essex bowlers, but from the Graham Gooch end, so we're going to see some leg spin. Jordan Cox has got the helmet on behind the stumps as well. And Essex now have the opportunity to push back in the field with the end of the power play. Remember, Essex won the toss and elected to bowl first here at Chelmsford, as Critchley is in, and Mieye just drives that one into the offside, picks out the Essex captain Simon Harmer, and that'll be a dot ball to start things off for Matt Critchley. Back quickly on his mark, and he's in again, and again that one is just defended by Mieye. Good bowling here from Matt Critchley.
Just noticing on the leg side to Mieye, both fielders having to shade their eyes from the sun, aren't they? So high catches there might be tricky.
Critchley in, and that's a swing and a miss from Mieye. Not far away.
Yeah, so that's deceived him outside the off stump. Tawanda Mieye exchanging a word with former teammate Jordan Cox about that one.
Critchley is in over the wicket, and this time there is bat on ball from Mieye. Wants to take the quick single. He's sent back by Bell-Drummond, and that's a 4th dot ball for Matt Critchley.
Yeah, what a great start this is after I think momentum with Kent. A big over from them off water.
Critchley in, and that one's driven back. It's past the bowler, so they will get a single. And Miaya will get himself off strike, 63. He moves on to 43.
Yeah, just one off it so far. This has been exactly what Essex needed.
Critchley twirls the ball a couple of times. He's into Bell Drummond, who drives that one into the offside. Great tumbling stop by Simon Harmer, agile as ever from the Essex captain, and it's just a single on the board, so 2 from it. That first Matt Critchley over, and Kent 64 without loss.
Yeah, great start. Kent unable to get him off the square, and the chat between Messrs Mieye and Bell Drummond. Certainly want to go hard in this first 10 overs, the opening partnership. But, see t-shirts, a single t-shirt being thrown to the crowd there. Gentleman there from Essex just teasing the crowd as he was about to lob it in there. So we will have Luke Begenstein from the Sir Alistair Cook end. And they come right arm over the wicket now with the off spin to Daniel Drummond. Quicker delivery, swing of the bat, it's wide on the leg side, and worse than that, it's gone for 4 as well. Big swing of the bat from Daniel Bell Drummond, but Begenstein just straying not too far down the leg side, but you don't get any width there at all unless it's clipping the stump or clipping the thigh pad on the way down. And so 4 wides to start. So once again, finds this one in quicker. Drummond's on the front foot there and actually just squirts off the edge of the bat and away from the stumps. But it's a good delivery. Certainly asking questions of the Kent opener. He goes, indeed, driven down the ground this time too. Charlie Allison throws it back in, so a single taken, but pace off the ball seems to be working for Essex at the moment. Certainly off the end of the power play. 70 for none, the Spitfires then in the 8th over. On the back foot to Andamier, just a gentle drive into the offside, not taking any chances with the spinner, but just one more to the total.
What were we at the end of the power play?
62.
62. I thought that.
So leg spin from both ends at the moment. This one up in the air, miss hit from Danny Bell Drummond. Will Harmer get there? That's a brilliant catch. That is outstanding from Simon Harmer. He's running towards the boundary, ball coming over his shoulder. You think he's second favourite there. Absolutely safe as houses, takes that one, hits the ground with the ball in his hands. But that's a brilliant catch. It's a miss hit from Daniel Bell Drummond, trying to clout the leg spinner, I think, over the leg side against the spin. It's come off the outside part of the bat over towards extra cover. Running catch by Simon Harmer. Really good take. And first wicket down, 71 for 1 Spitfires.
That's such a difficult thing to do. He's running into the sun, the ball's coming over the top, and he looked like he might actually end up just short the way it was dropping over the top of him, but he just reached those long arms out and got there. And yeah, well, I think it's fair to say one of the older members of the team, but you wouldn't know it from the athletic way in which he took that catch.
No, brilliant stuff.
Exactly what Essex needed as well.
Yeah. This will, hope will exact a slow down. Joe Denley is back. He's missed a couple of games after the ball hit him on the point of the hip against Surrey. He carried on there, but was unable to play the next couple of games. He's had a good series so far as well. Joe Denley has been hitting, striking really well from the word go. This will be a question for him to answer, though. The leg spinners seem to be slowing things down and have taken the first wicket as well. So actually only 9 on the board since the power play. We're in the 8th over now, and the wicket now taken. This one's driven by Denley down the pitch. There's an ooh and an ah, but I think that might have gone into the ground first. Is that what the jeering is for from the other parts of the crowd? I'm not sure, but Joe Denley swiping, maybe not angrily, but a little bit frustratedly at the ground. This one's clipped by Tawanda Mieye down to fine leg, fielded by Mohamed Amir, and they'll take a single there. And Our replay screen's gone a little bit random, but that is the end of the over. We know that much. So end of the over. It's 73 for 1 Spitfires. Really good one from Luke Benkenstein there, taking the wicket of Daniel Bell-Drummond. So 73 for 1 from 8 Kent here on BBC Radio Kent and BBC Essex via the BBC Sport website and app and on DAB in the Guard of England.
Now Thane's going to come into the attack for Essex. Took his first T20 wicket last night, and it was that of none other than former New Zealand captain Kane Williamson. An important wicket for Essex at that time as well, because he'd just made his 50 for Middlesex. He was also the youngster who was on strike for that final delivery, Essex needing 4 from it to try and win the game. Bowled well, but just bowled the one over last night, having made his debut in the T20 competition for Essex at Sussex last week, as Thane is in and Mayeye is having a look at that one as it's called a wide ball.
Yeah, just smidgen down leg. Just checking. Noah Thane played representative cricket, but it looked like he hasn't played 19s or.
Yeah, England under 19s.
Oh, he has. There we
yes,
go.
yeah.
Well,
alongside Luke Benkenstein and Charlie Allison, all in the team tonight. As Thane is in, Mayeye gets that on ball, and that one's played into the leg side. They'll come back for 2 runs, and the ball is picked up from the slightly loose throat. Yeah, Noah Thane and Charlie Allison also been a regular fixture for Essex in the county championship this season.
yeah, I thought Thane had played the under 19s. Just the notes I was reading there didn't mention it, so I'll go to another site next time.
Thane is moving past the umpire, a bit of dust flies up from his run up, and the Mayeye just knocks that one gently into the offside and takes the single. Kent move on to 77 for 1, and Mayeye on to 48. Denley will have the chance to face Thane for the first time.
I think our replay screen here is buffering, isn't it? We're getting, well, some stills of what's going
You
on.
can watch it in slow motion.
Yeah,
as
quite, yeah.
Thane is in, and that one's clipped into the leg side by Denley. Takes the single as it's fielded by Benkenstein in the deep.
Yeah, it's quite aggressive there, Joe Denley, wasn't he? He was coming down the pitch, and I think he had to adjust his shot in the end. It's a decent bowling from Thane, and Denley trying to take liberties with him, or at least put him off his length of line there.
Thane in the sunshine of the Graham Gooch end. Was a bit of shade for the supporters over that side of the pitch. He is in. That's up in the air from Mayeye, straight over the bowler's head, and it will hit the coverings, which is acting as the sight screen for 6.
Yeah, and that is 50 for Tawanda Mayeye, I believe. It's been a fine innings so far from him. Indeed, he goes on to 54 from... sorry, neither scoreboards help me out here, but I'll tell you the number of balls in just a second. He's back now.
32.
Thank you. And this one is swatted up to mid-off for a single.
And that is the end. No, we've got one more, haven't we? Because we've got had a wide.
Sorry, yeah.
Noah Thane was on his way then. I think he was just told by the umpire. No, don't forget, another delivery to come. 85 for 1. Kent having been put into bat by Essex. Bowls, and that's missed by Denley, who has a little hop over his bat after trying to play at that one from Noah Thane. Dot ball to finish, 85 for 1. Mayeye getting his half century in that Noah Thane over. He is on 53.
Yeah, certainly. 4 4s and 4 6 for the young 4 6s for the young Kent batter. So this is the way Denley's playing here is very much what we've seen from him so far. He's come to the crease, bristling with energy, looking to innovate, to put the bowlers off, not to sit and nurdle runs. He's very much there. His role this season appears to be to attack at number 3. Well, number 4 when Zach Crawley was attacking, but Benkenstein, leg spin to Ander Mieye, rocks back into his crease, driven up to Charlie Allison at long on. He'll take a single. So coming towards the halfway mark here of the Kent innings. Mieye 56, Denley has 2 facing now. Will he take on Luke Benkenstein here? He does, comes down the pitch, thumps it hard, not hard enough. Perhaps hasn't quite milled that, Joe Denley, but it's gone pretty quickly to Charlie Allison at long on. And going against the spin, Benkenstein naturally spin the ball away from the right-handers. This one's a full toss and a bit toe-endy, maybe outside of the bat from Ander Mieye, who slaps his thigh in frustration. Thinks he should have made more of that full toss as he took a step down the pitch, but a single out to the boundary rider on the offside. And they do look frustrated, which is a great deal of credit to the Essex spinner. Straight down the ground from Joe Denley. Will that go for 4? It will. He's teed off this time and has made a sweet contact, and that will go for a boundary. But otherwise, I'd have to say, both Benkenstein and Critchley doing a good job with their first couple of overs. Critchley has just one, doesn't he, with the seams rotating at the other end. Benkenstein 99 on his back to Denley once more, advances down the pitch. Benkenstein drops it just a little bit shorter, sees him coming, and Denley can only drive that straight to Simon Harmer on that extra cover, a couple of bounces. Matt Critchley is coming in. Short leg, that's what they should do now. That's my captaincy. Oh no, that's strange. He's going to a more defensive position at backward point. Maybe not for the leg spinner in T20. Thundered down the ground as Benkenstein, I think, has got fingers to that. Hope he doesn't rue that. It's 2 from Joe Denley. Has hit that so hard. It's a diving half stop. I think he's just got fingers enough to slow it down, Luke Benkenstein. That's a great half stop. Yeah, he looks, his fingers on his right hand.
Isn't he?
He's counting to 5. That's always good news. A single to end the over. Another good one from the young spinner. But 94 for 1. Kent aggressing towards the end of the 6 balls. And halfway, they are, over after 10 overs, 94 for 1 Kent.
Shane Snater coming back into the attack for Essex. Interesting, just I don't know how much there will be to compare, but I think Middlesex were 93 for 1 at the 10th over last night, and we thought at that point they'd go on to make a big score. Obviously, with that game, it didn't turn out that way. Similar for Essex in their innings, as Snater is in, and that one's just hit into the ground by Mieye, and back to the bowler for a dot ball to start things off for Snater into his 3rd.
Yeah, the slowing effect of a couple of wickets, not to be underestimated, is it? That
No.
could be going pretty well with one down here, but as they look to force, Essex, I'm sure, will be they'll be keen to take wickets. They may well do.
Snater bowls. That's a wide delivery, which had Jordan Cox diving to his right-hand side to make sure it is just the 1 addition to the score.
Yeah. It did pitch on the strip, didn't it? So otherwise it would have been a no ball. It was quite wide, put it that way. But it's part of the bowler's armoury in T20, isn't it? To flirt with the blue lines outside the batter's off stump. Try and get them either reaching or leaving a wideish one.
95 for 1 as Snater is in. That's slapped back over his head by Mieye, beats the fielders out in the deep, and 4 to add to the score.
Yeah, he's hit that hard again. And they're trusting the timing on this pitch a little bit more now. Hybrid surfaces tend to be a little bit truer. All coming onto the bat well. And he's, straight back past the bowler.
He moves on to 61, 99 for 1 as Snater is in. Fuller delivery, which is driven by Mieye to long on. Brings up the 100 for Kent in the 11th over. There's a polite applause.
Yeah, standing in front of us felt a little bit reluctant, actually. Maybe I'm projecting, who knows. But yes, 100 in the 11th over. Doing okay here. It's hard to know who will be the happier of the two. I think perhaps Kent with just 1 down at the moment. As I said, that so often in T20 can change very, very quickly.
100 for one as Snater is in. Denley clips that one into the leg side, clips it with pace and finds the boundary. Another 4 to add to the score for Kent, 104 for one.
And that was a deceptive from where I was sitting there. I thought the fielder was going to come round and close it off, and suddenly the ball seemed to get faster, which I believe that's not physically possible. Denying the laws of physics, but yeah, he just hit that really hard through mid-wicket, isn't he?
Denley moves on to 13. Snater's into with the shorter ball, which is pulled, and as he managed to pick out the gap with the fielders, no good stop on the boundary, sliding in for Essex. I think it's Michael Pepper out there who managed to get round to it, just claw the ball before it crossed the rope and save a couple of runs for Essex.
Back in the day, having a wicket-keeper fielding in the outfield will be a positive handicap. You don't get much of that these days, do you? Look at Jordan Cox, Sam Billings, who both fielded in the outfield in T20.
Yeah, it's
Game's gone.
Snater is in. That's up in the air from the yay. Michael Pepper won't get round to that one. Has it bounced inside the boundary rope? Umpire's just checking before he confirms whether that's gone for 4 or 6. It has gone for a boundary in whichever way, and he's still checking. 6 to confirm for the
6.
final ball of the over. 1-1-1 for one.
Yeah, Tuanamia again hitting the ball really hard there, isn't he? 68 from 39. It's a great strike rate here, but Kent fans will be tempered, I'm sure, by the fact that Kent are batting first here, and that obviously they have to put a big score on the board and then bowl to it. And the ball, as I said, looks to be coming on the bat very nicely. These two timing it really well at this point, going through 10 and over through 11 overs. And that will be what they'll try to do here. As I said, put pressure on the opposition with a big score on the board. It just worked against Somerset a few days ago in the flattest pitch I think I've seen in many a year, even at Taunton. Matt Critchley to replace Luke Beckenstein at the Alistair Cook end, Sir Alistair Cook end, and this one's launched by Joe Denley down on one knee, and that's over cow corner for a big old 6. Might not have reached the car park.
Might reach the river though.
It might reach the river. That's a big old hit from Joe Denley. As I said, these two now timing the ball really nicely. He's gone to slog sweep it, and I think it's gone between the stand and the marquee there. And Critchley goes down the ground this time from Joe Denley in the air, and 6 more. And that is a thundering 6 from the Kent number 3, coming back from injury. And 26 of 11 for him now. The umpire just checking that it's still roughly spherical, this ball. As it comes back to Matt Critchley, the ball again to Joe Denley, goes this again, it's up in the air, and 6 more. Yes indeed, Joe Denley, 666, it's the number of the Denley to start this over, 129 for one. Matt Critchley's first over went for almost nothing, didn't it? Went for 2.
He went for 2. It's been rather destructive.
Yeah, I was saying after Wednesday night that 2 games is a long time in T20 cricket. 2 overs is a long time in T20 cricket. Matt Critchley's gone for 18 off 3 here. Denley cuts this off the back foot this time, won't be able to beat the field on the offside. It's a nervous hum from the crowd as he made contact with that ball, but that ain't going for 6. Critchley trying to drag this back in the last 3 balls, but some colossal hitting from Joe Denley. 33 from 13. Mayeye now facing. He goes for this one, slaps it down the ground. That'll be 6 runs into the stand to our right. And a gentleman with a pint in his left hand did exactly the right thing and got out the way of it for me. There we go. I think it's hit one of the seats. Everyone's fine, but it's 6 more to Wanda Mayeye coming to the party. And they're smashing that hard. And what you would say is this pitch, these two absolutely confident of where the ball's going to go. Not a great deal of turn from Critchley or movement from the seamers. this could be a big scoring night all round. Yeah, again, this time plays the same shot but straight back at the bowler. Critchley gets something on it and it'll just be a single. End of the over though. It's been an expensive one. 4 sixes off it, 26 in total off the 12th over coming from Matt Critchley. 137 for 1, and we bowled his first over for 2 just outside the power play. Certainly didn't see that coming.
No, that's been a huge amount of damage there to Essex, and well, A, trying to keep this total for Kent down, but B, trying to break what has become a very deadly partnership between Tamanda Mieye and Joe Denley, who has absolutely accelerated along to 33.
You're right, it's already at 66 between these two now.
Mohammed Amir is coming back into the attack for Essex. 0 for 11 from the 2 overs that he has bowled so far this evening. In conversation with the captain, Simon Harmer, how can he get involved and try and pull this back for Essex, who at the moment, after 12 overs, you would think will end up with a very big total to chase.
Yeah, no surprise really. The captain has to bring back his key bowler here, doesn't he, to try and get the wickets, slow things down here.
Amir is in over the wicket and ball through to Cox.
Yeah, it's wide of the off stump. Not too wide, says the umpire. Just got it right, Mohammed Amir. Man of his experience, no surprise there.
So it remains 137 for 1. He's back to his mark with number 5 on his back, the navy back of the shirt, the red front, which we can now see as he's on his way into Mieye, who hits that one into the leg side. It's going to bounce and there's a sliding stop on the boundary. Michael Pepper again getting there for Essex to mean it's just 2 runs to add to the score instead of the 4.
Yeah, really good stop that, wasn't it? Again, it's hit hard by Mieye through mid-wicket. It's a sort of jab or a pull out there. As you say, this could be a high-scoring contest, but Kent will know if they're timing the ball well, Essex could do that as well.
Amir bowls, and that one is driven. Pepper comes in from long on as they jog through for a single. 140 for 1. Mieye on to 78 from the 44 balls. Denley back onto strike, looking to add to his 33.
Good delivery that from Amir, isn't it? It's a really good length, almost Yorker length, and quick into the stumps or into the feet.
Amir in, shorter delivery, which is clipped into the leg side, fielded in the deep by Pepper, who's had a very busy over for Essex as Kent take the single.
Yeah, Aussies will be following him around a bit at the moment. So 7 bowlers used so far. So there's plenty of ammunition, isn't there, for Simon Harmer if he needs to rotate. It's finding the right combination at the moment, I guess.
141 for 1 as Critchley's brought up to short third. That one's hit into the pitch by Mieye and will be fielded just outside the ring on the offside for another single.
Yeah, slowed down the scoring for Kent, hasn't it, after those, well, particularly after that big last over, and they're going for 5. Kent in the big picture might think, if we can exhaust an over, or maybe all the overs from Mohammed Amir in the next few, that'd be to our credit, but they're not trying to slow down, he's slowing them down.
Amir in another shorter delivery, which beats Denley through to Cox for a dot ball to finish. Good over from Mohammed Amir to pull things back for Essex as Kent on 142 for 1, but still Essex looking for that second wicket.
Yeah, Denley just miming that he was having to go way over his head for that bouncer, and you know, if the umpire had given a wide, that Mohammed Amir would have been straight at the umpire saying it's a perfectly good bouncer, but so there we go. Batters are always wronged, aren't they? That's where Mieye 79 for 45 from 45, Denley 34 from 15 here on BBC Essex, BBC Radio Kent, on the BBC Sport website and app. And this is Simon Harmer back into the attack, his first over went for 18 inside the power play. This is played straight back at the Essex captain. His catch it was, and a fine catch it was indeed, to get rid of Daniel Bell-Drummond at 71 for one. Miyagi down the pitch now, hits this one. It's one bounce to Benkenstein. I thought he might have been in with a chance of getting that on the full, but it does have to come around the surface a little bit to his left at mid-wicket. Takes it one bounce, so just one to the total. Harmer none for 18. Then off his 1.2 so far. Change of field for Joe Denley. 2 covers now. He really looks to launch that one, goodness me. Almost was the long handle as he ends up. It's a sort of low sweep towards Noah Thane at square leg, and it's just a single, but not timing that at all. Simon Harmer's done a great job. It's a good delivery. Slowing Denley down. Trying to adjust the shot late. Mieye now facing. He does just clip this in, a regulation shot off the off-spinner ball coming into the right-hander and spinning into him. And then it'll be thrown by Luke Benkenstein in from mid-wicket. So one more to the total. And this is good from Essex. A bit of a slowdown here by Amir and Harmer. I mean, Kent taking more risks. So Denley again is trying to thunder that one over mid-wicket. That's good timing. It's 4 runs. Goodness me, I didn't see that coming. That's going again faster than it looked as it came off the bat. Very little backlift from Joe Denley, but he has split the field at long on and mid-wicket. Yeah, no, he's very deliberately done that. That's a really good shot from Joe Denley. Well, I would doubt that. I'm not sure. But to go for this one as well, it's way up in the air. It's towering. Fielder underneath it. Benkenstein takes it, and Denley goes. It's been a swashbuckling 39 of 18 balls, but go he must. First wicket for Simon Harmer, second wicket for Essex. Really good concentration by Luke Benkenstein. He was the bowler when Harmer took the wicket of Daniel Bell-Drummond, and he's repaid the favour to his captain there, taking what was a towering catch to get rid of Joe Denley, who's looking, well, beyond looking dangerous. 39 from 18 was really moving the score along. But at the end of the 14th, Kent 149 for 2.
Yeah, that went very, very high, and there was a long time for Luke Benkenstein to have to wait and watch that one drop, get in the right position as well. And I think Noah Thane was coming round as well, and Benkenstein had the call, took the catch. Important for Essex to get that second wicket. Good over from Simon Harmer as well, just tempting Denley into playing that shot, but a very good cameo there from Joe Denley, who could prove to be a useful innings. 149 for 2.
Yeah, certainly he's moved things along, hasn't he? And was absolutely, you could see the game plan from Denley was just hit from ball 1 and keep hitting until he got out, and has now perished. 39 from 18 balls. And next in for Kent is captain Sam Billings, is it?
Yes, he is at the non-striker's end, as that first ball of Luke Benkenstein's third over is driven back down the ground by Tuanda Mayeye for 4. He moves on to 85, and Kent move along to 153 for 2.
So I've not learned how to read the scoreboard at the far side there. So
Benkenstein is in. That one's just knocked into the offside for a single by Mayeye. So we will now get the captain Sam Billings on strike for the first time.
Yeah, he's had a scratchy time, which is unusual for Sam Billings. Plays T20 cricket all around the world. Highest score 15 though so far in the blast for Kent. Really hasn't got going.
Billings just surveying the field. His luminous green trainers sticking out against his kit as Benkenstein is in, and that one's clipped into the leg side. Long on will come in to field it as the Kent captain gets off the mark with a single. 155 for 2. We've had 4 and 2 singles so far from this over as Benkenstein is in, and that one is clipped to deep wicket for a single by Mayeye, who is just quietly going about his business, moving to 87 now from 51 balls. 156 for 2. Billings having a look at the Essex field as Benkenstein is in. He goes for the reverse sweep, and it will be a 1-bounce 4 for the Kent captain. He had a look around before Benkenstein bowled that ball. He went for the reverse, he finds the boundary, and Kent move on to 160 for 2.
Yeah, nicely struck from Sam Billings. And I'm doing him a disservice, of course. He scored 38 against Gloucestershire. There we go. I just thought he played a lot of those shots against Gloucestershire. He got more than 15 there, but still by his very high standards, he's not quite clicked for Kent yet. That's a nice looking shot.
Benkenstein in. He tries the same shot there to Sam Billings, down on one knee. Big appeal for LBW from Essex. Umpire not interested from the final ball of the over. 160 for 2 as we finish the 15th.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly where the contact was, but it's all a flurry of arms and legs. Maybe just going down leg from Billings there, but he was tied up in knots by the young spinner and almost striking out the end of the over. So yeah, 164-2 at the end of 15. Simon Harmer going to stay on here. He will do, having taken the wicket in his previous over of Joe Denley. A couple of words with Sam Billings. They'll have crossed paths a number of times, not only here, but I'm sure on their travels in franchise cricket too. Too many interconnections to work out who's played for which team at which point, but Harmer round the wicket to Miea. He drives that down the ground, and it'll be picked up by Michael Pepper. And I'm sure it's an undershirt or tubey grips on the left and right arms there covering it. Hard ground, of course, you're going to be diving around. It's worth having the protection.
I think they're undershirts because a few of them have got the same thing on. Always got the towel in the back of the trousers as well.
Here's Harmer to Billings, slog sweep, splits the field on the onside, 4 runs. Good contact. He's known for sweeping and prepared to take the ball way outside the off stump if needed, but not too far out that side that time by Harmer. But Billings has reached for it, and a couple of bounces, low trajectory. That's 4 more, and Kent Spitfires into 165 for 2 here. Already looking like potentially a sizable total. Goes for it again and misses it. And will it be a run out here? It won't. Jordan Cox thinking about throwing down the stumps at the bowler's end. Simon Harmer maybe just asking the question of the wicketkeeper why he didn't go through with it, but Billings is also quick across the ground. The two of them sharing an aside there, the two captains.
All good natured, I think.
No, absolutely.
Harmer was laughing.
Yeah, I think they're Harmer to Miea reaches for this one outside the off stump. It's not a particularly clean contact, but it'll take 1. Thinks about 2. Sam Billings has definitely sent him back. Really good throw coming in from Shane Snater from the offside as well. Bullet throw, keeping them to 1. So it's 7, including the leg bye off this over so far. The Spitfires, Kent Spitfires, 167 for 2. They post above 200 here. They're on course at the moment. But Harmer to Billings. Pretty sure he saw him coming there because he's dropped that on Yorker length as Billings has tried to advance down the other pitch and slamming him over mid-wicket. Until it's low to that same position. Benkenstein stops it, and it's just gone for 1.
There's a real conversation going on between Sam Billings and Simon Harmer. They've got a lot to say to each other.
Yeah, round the wicket to Miea. That's up in the air. No one's going to get that. That is 6 runs into the marquee over mid-wicket. That's a big old shot from Tawanda Miea, who goes on to 95 now from 54 balls. He really looks at it this evening on a pitch which, to be fair, is giving plenty to the batters and hard for the bowlers, but Miea is taking full advantage. Moves on into the 90s with a great shot over mid-wicket.
Yeah, he's really found his straps here this evening to under Miea. Could be devastating for Essex.
Sorry, he's already passed his career high, which is 73. It was 70 earlier in this tournament, so could be Kent's second 100 of the series. Should he make that? I have to say should. Try not to talk him out here.
Well, Mohammed Amir is coming back into the attack for Essex. He's 0 for 16 from 3 overs, so Essex electing to use up his 4th over in the 17th as that slapped back past him for 4 runs by Sam Billings. Charged at that one and hit it with some pace. Kent onto 178 for 2.
Yeah. It's looking like a bit of an assault, this, isn't it? And Billings, well, there we are. I've done the reverse curse on him, haven't I, by saying he's not had a particularly good T20 blast. He's certainly hit that well enough.
He's heard you.
14 from 7. I wouldn't dare suggest it myself, but he has said it himself, to be fair.
Amir over the wicket, and that's missed by Billings, who does have a look at the umpire and just demonstrates that he thinks that one was wide of the blue line.
He's never short of a challenging look to an umpire with marginal calls, is Sam Billings. He's always interested in their opinions, put it that way.
Dot ball is the decision. Remains 178 for 2. Billings is on 14. Amir is in, and that's driven through the offside by Sam Billings. He'll pierce the field, he'll find 4 runs, 182 for 2 for Kent.
Yeah, maybe that knock against Gloucestershire, albeit in defeat, was just what he needed to get himself into some form. Sam Billings, that looked like a very decent shot indeed through the offside, but as I said, this pitch, there doesn't seem to be much in it for the bowlers, does it? Amir and Harmer certainly showing their quality, but you'd expect them to. It's looking tough out there otherwise.
Amir bowls, and that one's missed by Billings, who again is looking to the umpire, wanting a decision.
Yeah, he was less conservative about his thoughts on that one, wasn't he? Is he chuntering to himself? He probably is. To the helmet there. Never short of a word.
So we've had 4.4. From this 4th over from Mohammed Amir, who bowls, and that's missed by Billings. Swing and a miss from a this time uncontroversial delivery, at least from Sam Billings' point of view.
He's not contested that decision. You're right, I think it's good from Amir as well. He's just taking a little bit of pace off there, and Sam Billings is through the shot, through to the wicket-keeper.
Billings on 18 from the 11 balls that he's faced. Final delivery of Mohammed Amir's spell, which is a shorter ball clipped into the leg side. It will be 2 as they're going to run back quickly. Ball comes in, it's cleanly taken by Jordan Cox, but Sam Billings was already home for a 2 from the final ball. So 0 for 26 from 4 overs for Mohammed Amir. It's bowled nicely, bowled tidily without taking a wicket that Essex could really do with in this Kent innings, which sees them 184 for 2 off 17.
Yeah, he's by far the most economical of the bowlers so far, Mohammed Amir, as you'd expect, perhaps. Great delivery that last one as well. Pace off into the pitch, and Sam Billings, we need to adjust the shot. Takes, I say, just 2 from it in the context of this match. It's not a bad out from that over from Mohammed Amir, but he is done, as you say, Victoria. So 9 for 26. Paul Walter will return. His first over going for 16. What sort of return can he have? The left arm seamer. Good 6-7, 6-8 of him bowling to Tawanda Miyeye, who's closing in on a first T20 100, he hopes. And swats that into the onside. They come round back for 2. It's well run in the end. Noah Thane can't make it in from the boundary quick enough to stop that. And Miyeye goes on to 97 from 55 balls. And 186 for 2. I'm not sure you get time for nervous 90s, do you, in this form of cricket?
No time to think at all, is
no, I don't think your coaches or your teammate would allow it. You've just got to keep going. But 97 he is at the moment. Walter over the wicket to Miyeye, who drives that into the offside. And will they come back for 2 this time? They won't. And very sensibly, Shane Snater is quick across the ground. He's got a great arm too, just a single. Miyeye looking, well, just momentarily frustrated with himself.
Gave a slap of the thigh, didn't he, in frustration?
For not beating the field there. 98 from 56 he is. His captain Sam Billings is 20 from 12 so far, 187 for 2. Looks like Kent are on course for a 200 plus score here. Essex doing their damnedest to stop it. Walter to Billings outside the off stump. Billings looks up at the umpire immediately after that one. I think that's fair to say that was so wide of the blue marks, and that is a wide. And the Essex supporters, I have to say, are just keeping very quiet about it. I think if it'd been close, you might have heard of a few grumblings, but yeah, it's outside. And a wide from Walter. 188 for 2 then. On a balmy night at the county ground, Chelmsford, as Walter sprints in, gets to the crease, turns around and sprints back again. Sam Billings was ready. I don't think anybody in the field was moving particularly. Walter maybe just losing his stride there. Once again, left arm over the wicket to Billings, waits for this one, and a thumps that into a square leg. It's a pull from him. Again, Walter gets good bounce and tries to use it to his advantage. Sane fields at square leg, just a single. Good comeback over this one from Paul Walter so far. So 3 legitimate deliveries and 4 off it. Kent 189 for 2 here in the 18th. Walter bowls to Mieye, just a push and run into the offside. Takes a single and goes on. Oh, lost the video signal. Got it on to 99. I thought it was 99. I didn't want to say it just in case, but
I don't know whether Mieye is just resting or is he in pain.
Yeah.
He's sort of leaning on his bat at the non-striker's end.
He just cramped up a little bit there, I wonder. So bad time to have any sort of muscle injury at this point for him. As Walter around the wicket to Billings, swings at that one. Didn't sound like the fullest contact, and it's not. It's driven, went flat batted up to Michael Pepper. Ball to come of the 18th. A little bit of a raise in the buzz here from the crowd. Tawanda Mieye is a single away from his maiden T20 blast century. And flicks it into the onside, and that is 100, and warmly applauded, and he punches the air in delight and almost falls over. So pleased is he, so excited, celebrating with his teammates down beneath us in the marquee, and or rather in the dugouts. So yeah, he went up, there's a jump in the air, a punch of the air. Didn't stick the landing particularly well, did he? He stumbled as he came down the landing, looked like he was going to land flat on his face. But that is a fine 100 from Tawanda Mieye, 158 balls. And any questions about his ability to take good platforms in T20 blast cricket onto big scores, well, they were probably settled by that 70 against Somerset. This 100 here at Chelmsford will certainly answer those questions. A player of promise, blossoming perhaps into a player of real quality. 192 for 2 at the end of the 18th for the Kent Spitfires.
It was almost 100, retired hurt with the way in which he tripped as he landed that celebration. But yeah, really good innings from Tawanda Mieye. Was patient at the beginning when it just looked a bit difficult to time things, but he's really got into a rhythm here. And Essex, having not been able to dismiss him, will maybe be looking to their own innings now for someone to step up in a similar way. Snater is in, that's on the full toss, and he'll be caught. Out for 100 to Tawanda Mieye. 58 balls for his maiden T20 century, but a great and important innings for Kent. He's frustrated at himself, having taken on that full delivery from Shane Snater, volleyed it to long off, and he will depart for his century with Kent 192 for 3. The damage has been done.
Yeah, great century from Tawanda Mieye, and comes walking beneath us to join his teammates, and fulsomely applauded by the county ground here. And Essex supporters, Kent supporters, both saluting the young Kent batter as he comes off for exactly a century. And Jack Leaning will replace him at the crease in the second ball of the 19th over. So 11 deliveries left in the Kent innings.
And that one's clipped into the leg side by Leaning for his first runs of the Kent innings, 193 for 3.
Yeah, 6 4s, 7 6s for Tuanda Miaye during that knock.
Second catch of the innings for Simon Harmer, who is out at long off. Snater into Billings, has a swing at that one. It's through to Cox.
I haven't seen that very much this evening. We ball beating bat. I think it's such a good batting pitch, this one. But, yeah, deceived.
I think Jordan Cox will be enjoying being this close to his former Kent teammates behind the stumps with the gloves on. As Snater is in, bat on ball this time from Billings into the leg side. Pepper coming round from long on to field as they come back for 2, and Jordan Cox was going for the run out, but in the end he's whacks the stumps with his gloves and drops the ball. I think Sam Billings was safe anyway.
Yeah, he was pushing for that one. I'm sure there'll be a couple of words between them here. They're very similar characters, both really fiery, set really high standards, both fantastic cricketers, of course. So I'm sure there'll be a fierce rivalry on the pitch, at least, between these two.
It's the ramp shot there from Sam Billings. Snater was in, he just stepped to the side, over the shoulder and away for 4 runs, 199 for 3.
Yeah, Billings perhaps taking up the mantle of Miaye there to move the score along. It's a nice looking shot that, isn't it, from Sam Billings.
He moves on to 28 from 17. Snater, who took a wicket with his first ball of this over. It's been 7 runs from it, and we have 1 delivery of his 4th to come.
Yeah, 199 for 3 now, Kent. And 7 balls, remaining of the innings.
Snater is in, and that is, well, it's going to run away to the boundary, and it did come off the bat of Sam Billings. A bit of a lucky one on that occasion, but it all adds up to the total for Kent, 203 for 3, and we have 1 over of the innings to come.
Yeah, there was a mighty swing that wasn't there from Sam Billings, almost jogging down the pitch to that one to aggress the bowler, and it's given Jordan Cox behind the stumps no chance at all. It's gone pretty fine, but has zoomed past him. That goes for 4, and the 200 is up for Kent. I'm going to check their record score the other day against Somerset, and it was against Essex back in 2017 of 228 on that occasion. So that will be going some, I think, in this final over from Paul Walter. But a big total, trying to put scoreboard pressure on this hybrid wicket, which looks pretty straight and true for the batters. Jack Leaning now has to go, if not from ball 1, from ball 2 here, with the final 6 balls of the innings left. That's very much a swing and a miss from Jack Leaning, who looks frustrated as the umpire says that's a legitimate delivery. Jack Leaning stands his ground just outside the off stump, looks back at his off stump, looks at the umpire, goes through the whole routine again, and bizarrely the umpire has not changed his decision, as they absolutely never do, but trying to make a point. It's a dot ball. It's Walter to Leaning. That's a floating slow ball out the back of the hand. That's definitely why it's Jack Leaning.
Yeah, no complaints about that.
Is pointing at it. Or is Jack Leaning saying perhaps it didn't pitch on the strip? Is that his inference? I thought he was just going through a comedy routine there, but is he trying to say that should be a no ball? But again, the umpire's not changed the decision, as they don't. They've made it, and so it's a wide. 5 to come then. Walter to Leaning, just does a little dance outside the off stump and clips that for 4 through fine leg off a shortish ball, and it almost was comedy. Little tippy toes outside the off stump, gets inside the line, anticipating that's where Walter's going to go again, and yeah, just pulls that past the man at fine leg for 4.
Yeah, no chance for Mohamed Amir to get any hands to that one. He just watched it swirl past him.
Yeah. Perhaps he wasn't trying to be funny, perhaps just a technique. There we go. Walter to Udlini, goes outside the off stump again. This is big, it's coming towards the commentary box, into the stand, hits the front of the stand, the railings, you may have heard that. Victoria and I were, well, I was certainly leaning back thinking,
I was ready to duck and it just rebounded.
How far is this coming? You heard the ooh from in front of us. The stand is absolutely packed in front of us, about 6 rows deep this stand. It's hit the top of the railings in front there, and fortunately I think for everyone it's gone back onto the pitch, because yeah, we might have had to take evasive action, Victoria, if that happened. It's 6, almost needless to say, from Jack Leaning. Goes for this again, pulls this into the onside. He won't split the field though. Benkenstein does field, and that'll be 2. They come back for a quick 2. So Jack Leaning showing his worth here. He's taken 12 off 3 balls, 2 to come from Paul Walter if they're legitimate deliveries. The gentleman settles himself. Probably needs to keep his eyes on the playing surface at the moment, I would advise. Jack Leaning's in the mood. What could Paul Walter do to stop him here? A couple of dots would be great for Essex. This is up in the air. Will it be caught? It might drop short. It does indeed. Look, Benkenstein coming in from the leg side boundary. Billings struggling to get back as they ran for a single, and Billings had thought about a second. I think Jack Leaning is saying it was never on. I think his captain knows that, as he's had the dive headlong to get his bat back in, and he is safe. So ball to go of the 20 overs. Kent are 2:17 for 3. This over's gone for 14 including the wide, so as long as this is a legitimate delivery, it'll be the last one of the piece. Some late adjustments to the field. Mohamed Amir goes back to fine leg, perhaps looking for the sweep or the glance, and peppers up to mid-off inside the circle. Billings faces here. Big swish of the bat, will go out towards mid-wicket. They'll come back for a second. Jack Leaning's on the second really hard. Billings to the striker's end and makes it as well. Good running. Throw just wasn't accurate enough, and they'll end their 20, Kent, on 219 for 3. The not out batters. Billings on 34. Leaning's made 14 from 6 there. Fantastic cameo from him. Billings almost going at 2 a ball as well. It's a big score, exactly what Kent needed to do. Sam Billings and his teammates will know exactly, with how well the ball's coming onto the bat, they needed to make big runs here to put pressure on Essex batting second. But it looks like a decent total, certainly. 219 for 3, 220 to win. But I'd have to say, Victoria, from my view here, it looks like a pretty decent one for the batters out there.
Yeah, big score from Kent, just one shy of the total that Glamorgan made last Thursday here in the game in which they beat Essex by 40 runs. Essex all out for 180, so they will know that they need their experience and their top order batters to really get going in the way that Tawanda Mayeye did with his 100. But not just that, the cameo appearances that we saw from the likes of Sam Billings and Joe Denley can really make a difference as well. So Essex know that they need to get their wickets in hand, but they need to score quickly and really go on to make those scores. Not just good starts from the likes of Michael Pepper, Paul Walter, Dean Elgar, Jordan Cox, whoever it may be who ends up at the crease. They can't just make those good starts. They really need to go on and make big scores this evening if they are to chase this 220 to win here at Chelmsford. Yeah,
100 for Tawanda Mayeye, the undoubted highlight for Kent, as Victoria's saying. Cameos from other batters scoring at high scoring rates as well. Mohamed Amir was superb for his none for 26 from 4. Paul Walter, sorry, beg your pardon, the wickets went to Shane Snater, to Simon Harmer, and to Luke Benkenstein, who also had a good spell of bowling, 1 for 29 off his 3. We'll be back very shortly here on the online commentary. Just to tell you, for listeners on BBC Radio Kent DAB, we're changing sports, well, maybe not a long way away, but going to talk hockey for you now. And Lottie Bingham from Sevenoaks, who also played for Holcombe, of course, now for University of Birmingham, was a late call-up to England's squad for this week's Pro League. Hockey we're talking here. Did I say hockey at the top? I hope I did. Thank you, Victoria, I did. In the Pro League hockey, she's played a couple of games already this week. There are 2 more for England coming up in crucial games against Spain at Lee Valley over the next couple of days. I got to talk to her this week. It started by asking the 19-year-old if she was expecting a late international call-up.
You know, it was definitely a bit of a surprise.
For the Big Apple roll, I'm going to quickly find out who we've got. Sir, what's your name?
Matt.
We got Matt. We're coming over here, and we've got
Shout out Naya, but I'm Natalie.
Natalie, I think. Your name?
Maud.
Maud, great to meet you. And we got one more over here.
Another Matt.
Another Matt, superb. Rules are simple. We can all follow this one. We're running out, round the orange cone, rolling the apple, all the way back, then you're going to swap over with your partner. First person back, you're going home with some Thatchers. Sounds a good deal to me. We're ready to go. 3, 2, 1, go! That's it, down to the end, around the cone. Around the cone, no cheating. Excellent. They're on the way back, here we go. Ready to go at the start. There's a massive apple coming towards me. And we're off. Matt, go. Maud's off to a good start. It's all on this. Suspense is killing me. We're getting round the last cone. No. Matt, keep going. Matt, keep going. Matt, keep going. Matt and Matt are our winners. Cheating on the end, we've got to go round the cone. The crowd aren't happy. These guys are happy though, because they're going home with a slab of Thatchers. Gents, well done to you. Handshakes, sportsmanship all round. You're going to collect your Thatchers from the ticket office at the end of proceedings. Round of applause for these guys. Well, we're almost ready to go. Please welcome back to the pitch our 2 umpires. And our visitors, led by Captain Sam Billings, Kent Spitfires.
Slow and low at Gloucestershire. Could be a low-scoring contest there, but Hampshire 124 for 9 as the players come out here. The Kent fielders, and one I haven't read. Yeah, Nottinghamshire, Northamptonshire. Nottinghamshire 164 for 8 at Wantage Road. Northamptonshire 30 for 1 from 5 overs. Need 135 in 89 balls. Won their first 6 games, or was it 7 games, Northamptonshire, of the series. Incredible start, but now having to fight a bit. Let's see what they do in that game. And more importantly, here on BBC Radio Kent and BBC Essex, well, the other way round, sorry, we're being hosted here by Victoria Poly and Essex County Cricket Club, of course. 219 for 3 Kent, 220 Essex require for victory.
And it will be Dean Elgar and Michael Pepper out as the opening pair for Essex, looking to chase down this big total put on by Kent.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Fred Clarkson to open up from the Sir Graham Gooch end. Sam Billings going through his warm-ups. They've got to slip in. I might be wrong, but I'm not sure how long that will last on this pitch. But it feels not exactly posturing. It feels optimistic, put it that way. I have to say, I think in Wednesday's game they had 2 slips in, and that lasted for about 3 or 4 balls of the first over. So it may just be to see if there's any shape from the left arm Clarkson. He's going to bowl to Dean Elgar, the South African. And Michael Pepper at the other end. So 220 for victory. I said this pitch does look like a belter, unless you're a bowler. It looks punishing. Kent's boundary fielders are certainly deep mid-wicket as Elgar bowls. Elgar faces now. Fred Clarkson rather turned him around, I think. Came from the low part of the bat, outside part of the bat, down towards third. It's fielded by Nathan Gilchrist, and there is 1 run. I was rather stretching to see who that fielder is, because it's Jaden Denley who's on as a sub. I'm wondering if he might be on for his Uncle Joe here, because Joe Denley was injured for a couple of matches, and I wonder if maybe, I don't see him at the moment, so it might be. That will be a blow to Kent in terms of bowling from the batting order, if you like, with his leg spin. They do have Jack leading as well, but Clarkson then to bowl his second ball. Seems to take an age, these 2 balls, but it gets big on Pepper there, and he's just played it down near his stumps. Just seemed to take the bottom hand off there as it rose towards his head, and he's absolutely fine. Just a bit of consternation there. Ball didn't drop very far away from the wicket, but Clarkson finding something in there. Pepper just not settled as yet. Only 2 balls in, only first ball he's faced. So there we go, Clarkson to Pepper now. Slowish delivery from Clarkson, taking pace off. Pepper just nudges that into the onside. He's had a good look at this one, and there's no run. But certainly from an Essex point of view, there's absolutely no need for alarms at this stage. I think Kent more or less did this for the first over as well, didn't they? Which went for just 6 and 10 off the first 2, and then accelerated. So once you're in, this looks like a good pitch. Here's Clarkson then to bowl to Pepper. Takes the bottom hand off again. He's mistimed that one. Just a couple of yards away from him on the onside. It's fielded by Fred Clarkson. So it's away from. Actually, I'm assuming the Kent. Is they in the marquee below us here?
Yeah, they're just in the building.
Gotcha.
So our commentary box is on top of, yes.
Gotcha, rather than the. Sorry, I'm pointing. That works pretty well on radio. Thank you, Victoria. Doing the professional thing. This is Clarkson then bowling to Pepper. Comes down the pitch, and that's a cut away on the offside, fielded by Jaden Denley, who can't bowl, of course, but he's quick across the ground. Although Sergeant Major Billings was suggesting, I think, that he get even quicker. Now he said, well done. He's had a lot of ground to cover though, hasn't he? Oh, there we are. He got a thumbs up from the captain after that, after a bit of a bark from Billings. So 3 for none. We'll take 2 off that ball. Klaassen. Pepper comes down the pitch, hesitates, throw at the striker's end. Looked like Elgar was safe, to be fair. Dean just took a moment to line it up, owing from about a stump and a half from point, but didn't hit the stumps in any case. Looked like they were safe. So 4 off the first over for Essex Eagles, 4 for none here at Chelmsford, needing 220 in total to win.
There was an uncharacteristic hesitation there from Michael Pepper in taking that single. These two are usually really quick and really good running between the wickets, but he just seemed to just deliberate on that one for a second, which made it closer than you would think it needed to be. But he does keep the strike, and it will be Tom Rogers to open the bowling from the Sir Alistair Cook end. The Australian who's over the overseas signing for Kent, number 10 on his back, on his way into Michael Pepper, who dabs that one down into the pitch and just tells Dean Elgar to wait at the other end. Dot ball to start from Rogers.
Yeah, and he was playing for Kent last year, I think, in mind, saying he was playing Big Bash during the winter, but also teaching. So one of those rare, sort of, not exactly part-time cricketers. He's playing very professional cricket, but this year he's been playing around the world of franchise cricket as well, played in the CSA, the South African 20. The Melbourne Renegades squad now as well. Took a lot of wickets in the Big Bash this winter.
He's on his way in over the wickets, and that one is through the gate. It's parried by Billings as Essex come through for a single. It was a big heave from Pepper, and it was all a bit of a mess, to be honest, where it ended up. Could have been much worse for Sam Billings had it not got that hand on it, but Essex just add the 1 to the score, 5 without loss.
Yes, Tom Rogers, I think, took 18 in the Bash this year. Previous year was before he came to Kent, I think, was the top wicket taker in the Big Bash League. Very experienced. But, let's see what Essex make of him.
Dean Elgar, the left-hander, waits as Rogers is in. That one's defended into the offside by Elgar, and there's lively movement in the Kent field because they like this so far, just the single from the over.
Yeah, they'll be pleased. Got it pretty tight so far, haven't they? Talk about international experience. Got Dean Elgar out there, of course, haven't you? So he's seen it, done it, and got several T-shirts.
Although not always necessarily when it comes to T20 cricket,
no,
but he certainly enjoys being a part of it for Essex. Rogers bowls, Elgar comes forward for it, thinks about coming for the run, and he's sent back by Pepper and has to dive to make his ground as a throw comes in from Rogers.
I think that would have been close from Rogers' reaction there. It's good work from the Australian on his right, isn't it, there? And he's followed through, he's got to field that one bounce and the throw coming in. It would have been close, put it that way, but bit of a scramble back, but safe.
Dean Elgar just dusts himself down after making it home. Rogers bowls, clipped into the leg side by Elgar for a single. He moves on to 2, yeah, 6 to 6.
He's played plenty of T20 cricket, isn't he, Dean Elgar, just looking at his stats, but no T20 internationals from South Africa. But mind you, that's not an easy team to get into, even if it's not your first format, is it? The South African T20 side. But Michael Pepper then on strike, 4 from 7 so far.
Yeah, Essex just finding the first couple of overs difficult to score from as Rogers is in, and he's bowled Pepper, and it's not just difficult to score from now. It's going to be made more difficult because Michael Pepper has gone for 4 runs, bowled by Tom Rogers in the second over of the Essex innings, and they're 6 for 1 in the power play.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what that did actually. It was slightly askew from the wicket here, but like it's taken. It's jarred middle there. He's gone for a straight drive, it looked like, Michael Pepper. Rogers bowling here. Yeah, it's got some shape actually off the pitch. It's a really good length as well. Just about Yorker length, and he's tried to swing hard at that one, and that's done him. But you can understand that from Pepper's point of view as well. Just really wasn't timing the ball. He looked to try and thunder Tom Rogers back over his head there, and has perished with a bit of movement from the Australian.
That means an early entrance to the field for Jordan Cox against his former side. He's been Essex's best batter in the competition so far this season. He's only played 3 matches, a high score of 82 in the game last week at Sussex, and had a useful partnership with Paul Walter at Lord's last night, but it wasn't enough for Essex to see them home in that narrow defeat.
He's got a double century, a century and a 50 in 4 games against Kent. So Clarkson bowls to Elgar, cuts that down towards Nathan Gilchrist, a tumbling stop by the Kent bowler at a third, and they'll come through for a single. So he knows how to hurt his former side, put it that way. And I mean, people will tell you that always happens when people play against their old clubs, but that's quite spectacular. Yeah, that and his other score was 26 in a win for Essex last June, in fact, at Canterbury under the lights. So he'll face now his first ball from Fred Clarkson, a man he'll know very well indeed. Faces up now. Jordan Cox just pushes that into the offside. Finch hairs in to try and stop the ball going anywhere. I mean, Cox has played that with absolutely no aggression at all. He's just basically defended the offsides. He wasn't expecting to take a run, but Finch quick across the ground. So too Jaden Denley on that side. But yeah, it does look like do have this family situation. It's a nephew for a uncle. Good ball out from Clarkson. Cox looks down at the pitch there. It's got some lift outside the off stump, but looks surprised by it. Jordan Cox has looked to go forward, put his head over the top of it. It's actually rising past his chest, through to the wicket keeper, and goes out and does some guarding there. 7 for 1 Essex. Just struggling to get going at the moment, but as I said, it took Kent a few overs too. Cox faces now, just runs that down to third, and Matt Parkinson fields and throws into Sam Billings. It's a single and 2 to come. So in the third over here, Essex Eagles 8 for 1, needing 220 in total to win. And Clarkson started really well so far with his first 10 balls. He's gone for just 6. That's his job for Kent. Comes over the wicket now to Dean Elgar, left-handed, so it's left arm to left-hander, push into the onside. It'll be fielded by Jaden Denley. Left arm throw comes in from the offside boundary, and just a single. So one more to come of this third over here. And BBC Essex and BBC Radio Kent.
It just visibly looks like, well, certainly from the Essex batters' reaction, maybe the Kent batters had a better poker face, but it just feels like visibly there's more that the bowlers are getting out the pitch.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? They're just looking a little bit unsettled by it at the moment, but here's Clarkson to Cox, straight back at the bowler. You could see that from Jordan Cox, the body language there. He's just looked off the square leg in frustration that he's not got that one away. Now he's looking down at the pitch. Was there a look at the square leg umpire? I don't think, I can't imagine what would be wrong with that delivery otherwise, but no, they're just having a chat between the two of them, Jordan Cox and Dean Elgar. It's 9 for 1, off 3, and Essex, it's a circumspect start, you might say, to chasing 220, but there is plenty of time. We saw from Kent a few colossal overs they took when the Mayeye was blazing, and when Denley was as well, and Billings latterly. There are runs in this pitch.
Nathan Gilchrist to bowl from the Sir Alistair Cook end, right arm fast bowler, and Elgar's knocked that one into the offside. There's a sliding stop on the boundary as the Essex batters come back for 2 runs, a bit more pace on that one.
Oh, a cat chasing a mouse there for a moment. I think it was going to get away from Jaden Denley, like it was taunting him, the ball as it went past him, but it was well placed in the end. 2 runs from it.
Gilchrist bowls to Elgar, who comes down the pitch for that one. He finds the gap, and Essex have a boundary, as you might be able to tell from the crowd's reaction. Dean Elgar, the opener for Essex, gets the 4 on the board, 15 for 1. He moves to 10.
Yeah, warm the crowd up now. It's 4 through the offside. Good foot movement there. Nicely struck. Sam Billings making minute changes to the field.
Right arm bowler into the left-hander, who just takes a step to the side, scoops it over his shoulder. I think it's caught in the crowd as well. It's gone for 6. Dean Elgar finding his feet now for Essex, which is what they need. 21 for 1. He is on 16.
I think attempts a one-handed catch in the crowd there, but didn't quite make it. But yeah, there we go. So just looked like they were having trouble middling the ball in the first couple of overs. And now Dean Elgar has taken a liking to the bowling of Nathan Gilchrist. 12 off 3 balls so far.
Gilchrist is in, and that's a fuller delivery, which Elgar gets low to. He will pick out the man in the deep. They think about coming back 4-2, but Jaden Denley is round to it, so instead they settle for the single. 22 for 1. Elgar to 17, and Matt Cole's so excited he's decided to stand up.
I wish that were the case, just stretching. But yeah, Jaden Denley's quick across the ground, so he's a teenager's skillful player, but been tested there. So 13 off first 4 deliveries from Gilchrist.
Who is into Cox, who has a swing and a miss at that one and just tips his head back in frustration. Billings decides to have a go at the stumps with the ball, and Cox kicks the ball away. And I think there might be a few words between the Kent captain and Jordan Cox, who is not shy about having a few words back, and that might just all need to be settled down by the umpires.
Yeah, I don't think Billings threw it that hard, but certainly Cox has taken offence, perhaps saying to the umpires, you're not supposed to shy at the stumps when there's a player in the way. Yeah, it's an underarm throw, and it's hit Cox's, the back of Cox's bat, hasn't it? I think Billings, and then he's kicked the ball away. Oh, there we go. They'll be friends when it's done, I'm sure. But yeah, just a little bit of a... And there's Sam Billings has been called across. And just nodding at the umpires.
I think it's important from an Essex point of view that Jordan Cox keeps his head here, because he is so important for this Essex innings, particularly with that wicket of Michael Pepper in the second over, bowled by Tom Rogers. Jordan Cox needs to not see the red mist and concentrate on the batting. He's got 1 from the 5 he's faced, as Rogers is in, full delivery, driven back down the ground by Jordan Cox, who just nonchalantly walks away, maybe has something to say about that one as well. Boundary from the final ball of Nathan Gilchrist's over, and Essex are 26 from 4 for 1.
There is a little silent movie as far as we're concerned going on out there. So Jordan Cox hits the 4 delightfully, looks straight over his shoulder at Sam Billings. Billings comes up with a smile, half smile on his face, talking to them both, pats one of those 2 players on the shoulder. It's Dean Elgar, it's not Jordan Cox, but the umpires are they've called Billings across again to explain himself, which is, I mean, theatre it may be, but certainly cricket-wise, umpires take a pretty dim view of this kind of thing. But no love lost at the moment between the current Kent captain and one of the stars of this Essex side, Jordan Cox. As if Essex against Kent games needed any more needle, I wonder. Over the years, but might just get the crowd into it too. And Jordan Cox didn't seem put off by the squabbling. Lovely shot at the end of that over. Here's Rogers from the Sir Graham Gooch end now, driven by Elgar straight at point. And that's Joey Everson fielding there, and there is no run. So 26 for 1 off 4. So they took 17 off that previous over, and the first show of a charge. The run rate at the moment about 6 1/4, required 12 1/4. But to be honest, as we saw with Kent, there's a possibility on a flattish pitch to take bowlers apart here. Tom Rogers trying to avoid that. Bowls to Elgar, rocks back on leg stump, pushed into the onside, fielded by Jaden Denley. They come back for a comfortable 2, and 28 for 1. Elgar 19 now from 12 balls. Cox has 5 from 6. But I do wonder, Victoria, with players like Jordan Cox, whether he doesn't thrive on a bit of needle. I think he's a forthright young man, isn't he? And with a huge talent. I wonder if he's one of those players that actually just really sparks off it, because that 4 at the end of the over was a beauty. Elgar down the pitch, improvised shot, backward a square, 4 runs. And, well, I'm not sure quite how to describe it. He's charged down the pitch. Looks like he's going to swat it to the onside like a double-handed backhand, and has ended up just opening the face and running the ball backward a square for 4 runs. That's
on one leg as well.
It's a lovely improvisation, but that was definitely steered to backward point by Dean Elgar. Fabulous shot. 32 for 1. He moves on to 23 from 13. As the run rate of course goes up. We're only through 4.5 overs here. This chase for Essex. Rogers 2. Elgar cuts this away with venom, but that one's straight at the fielder. Some reason Tawanda Mie is getting a big wind up from the other crowd there as he runs towards the ball. I think that's his first bit of fielding, but single taken. Just reminding him that they were there with some helpful advice, I'm sure, behind him.
Just trying to keep the pressure on.
Yeah, absolutely. 33 for 1. Tom Rogers taking his time, gets the ball back. The Australian 1 for 9 so far off 10 balls. And turns at the Graham Gooch end. And bowls now over the wickets to Cox, who just drops it into the offside. And Finch comes in from quite a way outside the circle and fields the ball. And it will just be 1. 34 for 1. Elgar 24. Cox moving off 6 from 7, playing well within himself at the moment, Jordan Cox. An explosive cricketer he is. Cannot be hoping this is not one of those occasions, but adjustment to the field. Again, Sam Billings never short of doing that. Matt Parkinson never short of a cheery word for the crowd either. Big smile on his face, he comes down. He may be talking to some of his teammates in the marquee beneath us. Sam Billings still doing air traffic control. But round the wicket comes Rogers to the left-handed Elgar, and that's gone for 4. It's going to be a no ball as well. It'll be a free hit as that's gone above waist height, and Elgar, it wasn't a beamer, but he just shied his head away from that. I think saw it late. It's going at some speed and has glanced that away for 4 runs on the offside. I think it will be. Yeah, it'll be a free hit here, I think. Yes, indeed. So Rogers, that one got away from him a bit, but yeah, that was high, wasn't it? It's almost chest high when Elgar's played that. I think he's initially tried to pull it away, but it's ended up just getting any bat he can to it. So free hit here, 40 for 1 in the 5th. Rogers bowls, slower ball, bounce ball straight at the fielder, so can't make any more from it. So it's a good recovery from Rogers. He has 1 for 16 off 2, and Essex are 40 for 1 after the first 5 overs here at the county ground, Chelmsford, on BBC Essex and BBC Radio Kent, and via the BBC Sport website and app.
Floodlights just starting to take effect now. It looks to be a good, gentle, probably welcome breeze out there as well after the hot weather. We've had the Essex flag and the Pride flag as well, which is flying alongside the pavilion, are moving well, which suggests there's a bit of relief for the supporters around Chelmsford at the moment. Joey Everson is going to bowl from the Sir Alistair Cook end.
This will be interesting. Joey Everson's lively medium pace, but no more than that.
over the wicket to Jordan Cox, who just guides that one into the pitch and takes the single. 7 from the 8 balls that he's faced, 41 for 1. I was watching Dean Elgar hit a couple of boundaries in that previous over. The umpire's just jogging across with left-handed Dean Elgar back on strike.
He's had a couple of good games as Joey Everson since his return from injury, certainly with the ball. This might be a tester.
He's coming around the wicket to Elgar, who gets across the leg side and it's fielded at mid-wicket, just a dot ball.
Yeah, very much pace off from Joey Everson at second delivery as well. At his pace, they can't afford to, or he can't afford to set into a rhythm here. He needs to use his variation just to keep them guessing.
Everson in, down the pitch comes Elgar. It's driven to mid-off. They'll scramble through for the single, but frustration again, I think, from Dean Elgar that he's been able to get that one away for more than that single, because we are into the final over of the power play, which, if you remember, was a devastating over when it came to the Kent innings. Really moved them on in setting the 220 to win. Ball lofted over the bowler's head on that occasion from Jordan Cox, coolly for 4 runs, dispatching the delivery from Everson. Essex 46 for 1.
Evening, Jordan. There we go. Absolutely. He makes it look so easy at times, Jordan Cox. One of those occasions, just rocking back.
He's on 11. Everson is in, and that one is dropping safe into the leg side from Jordan Cox. Just a single, picks out Jaden Denley in the deep. 47 for 1.
He hasn't quite middled that, but the intent is clear from Jordan Cox. There's a ball left of the power play.
It'll be Dean Elgar on strike for it. 29 runs for him so far this evening. Essex's run rate currently 8.06, short of the required, as Everson is in, down the leg side. Again, it's just a single for Essex from the final ball of the power play, 48 for 1. So Essex behind the rate, Elgar 30, Cox 12. And we've seen glimpses of what these two could do. Essex require 220 if they're to win their first game of the T20 Blast this season.
Yeah, I think they were 12 off the DLS at the end of the over, which in 6 overs might seem like a lot, but put it into context, one colossal over and suddenly you are, you know, an over of 24, 26, which Kent did a couple of times in the Essex innings, and you're right back on it. So, well, this will be interesting. So Matt Parkinson, who is not afraid to toss the ball up and to bowl, take all the pace off as slow as you like, will bowl the first over outside the power play. And leg spinner, former England man, former Lancashire man for most of his career, will bowl to Dean Elgar. The left-hander faces him, cuts away towards Twanda Mayeye, who fields at point, and they'll take a single. What will Jordan Cox make of this, I wonder? The right-hander, Parkinson will prefer to bowl to him, use his variation of spinning the ball naturally away with the leg spin and the googly which comes back at him. We're told by the head coach and by Parkinson himself he has a mystery ball as well, but this one just pops up a little bit actually off a length, and Jordan Cox treats it suspiciously and just pats it into the onside for no run. The throw from Billings back to Matt Parkinson has caused Parkinson to scuttle off and get the ball. I think some Essex supporters were saying he should run an overthrow for that maybe, but not done. Ball considered dead there. So Parkinson back at his mark, spins the ball from right hand to left, back into his right hand now, bowls to Jordan Cox, who slams that away. Good stop from Jaden Denley at extra cover. He's on the back foot, he's hit that hard. Denley at cover, an extra cover, has stopped that, I think, with his body, and A single brings up the 50 for Essex in the 7th over here. The target T20. So still needing 170 exactly to win at this point. Parkinson to Elgar, waits for that one and drives it strongly out towards long on. Tom Rogers fields. Just slightly holding his shoulder as he throws that one back in, which, given Kent's prolific injury record, it's not a great sign, but it's just a little bit of wear and tear. Here's Parkinson then to bowl to Cox. Again, gives it plenty of air. Cox on the back foot, cuts it out towards Harry Finch on the offside boundary, and there's no run. So 4 singles and a dot so far off this Parkinson over. Kent will be very happy indeed if they can get out of this over without a boundary. Elgar just stops Parkinson from coming in, takes another look around the field. Sam Biddings making a minute change himself as Elgar thumps that down the ground, but it's just going to pick out Jack Leaning at long off end of the over. It's a good start from Matt Parkinson going for just 5 off the over, and Essex 51 for 1 off at 7 here at Chelmsford.
Yeah, Jordan Cox and Dean Elgar meeting in the middle for a chat. You just sense the frustration there from Dean Elgar that he had picked out the fielder and not found the boundary off that last ball of the over.
Just looking at sort of like for like, and that 7th over, that was the one that went for just 2 off the bowling of Matt Critchley, as Kent had a good look. So this could well happen for Essex as well. Jack Leaning brought into the attack.
Bowling from the Sir Alistair Cook end, he's into Elgar, who finds a gap in the offside, fielded in the deep for just a single. Elgar was almost coming back for the second, but thinks the better of it with Finch getting to the ball. 54 for 1.
These two great friends, Jack Leaning and Jordan Cox, both fierce competitors as well, put on a record stand for Kent during the COVID times of 400 plus against Sussex in the county championship.
Leaning into Cox, who floats that one into the leg side, and he knows it's going all the way for 4 because he doesn't even bother to start the run. He just casually walks down the pitch to punch gloves with Dean Elgar. Essex onto 58 for 1.
Yeah, Sam Biddings trying emergency surgery here, but that is almost surgical precision from Jayden Denley, if I can use that metaphor twice in one sentence. Finding the gap, beautifully done.
Cox 18 from 14. Leaning in, there's a bit of width there, which there's a slip actually in the field in the deep, and it will just be a single for Essex, but a few oohs and ahs that it could have been more.
Yeah, Tawanami he slipped and ended up looking like he was going to overshoot the ball there, didn't he? But got a hand down to it. A decent stop in the end. But
59 for 1. Leaning bowls, and there's a shuffle down the pitch from Dean Elgar, who misses and gets caught in the midriff by the ball. Bit painful.
Yeah, it's gone outside leg stump to make room, isn't he? And Leaning's just followed him, almost a flat delivery. That one, almost no spin on it.
Leaning in, down on one knee, Dean Elgar into the leg side, picks out Mayeye, gets the ball in for the single. 60 for 1. Got one delivery left of Jack Leaning's first over, and it brings Jordan Cox, the right-hander, former Kent man, back on to strike. Leaning is in, and that is slapped with some force by Jordan Cox. All he'll pick out though is long off for another single for Essex, and 8 from the first Jack Leaning over from the Sir Alistair Cook end. Essex 61 for 1.
Yeah, I don't think Kent will mind that so much, to be honest. Again, Jack Leaning is one of their part-time bowlers, but used a lot in T20, but just the 8 off it so far. But, Sometimes perhaps Dean Elgar isn't hitting quite as fluently as he'd like, but such experience, the South African, and obviously with Jordan Cox at the other end, who's more than capable of destroying sides single-handedly in blast cricket. It's Parkinson 2, Cox rocks onto the back foot and drives it up to long on, Rogers Fields, and that'll be just the single. So Parkinson 5 off his first over, and just a single off that so far. All mate required is sneaking up for Essex Eagles, but as I said before, there are runs in this pitch. Parkinson to Elgar, goes looking for them. That'll be 4 runs surely between the two fielders on the leg side indeed. Just adjusted his shot to the spinner and has ended up driving that between, well, it's more or less through mid-wicket, but between mid-wicket and the man coming round, Rogers from long on, go all the way along the ground in front of the two-storey hospitality area there here at Chelmsford. Parkinson, lots of air given to that one, driven by Elgar. Klaasen leaves it for leaning, and they'll come back for just a single in the end. Just one added for Essex Eagles. 67 for 1. So Kent have used 6 bowlers so far. Parkinson bowls, it's up in the air. Is it going to be caught by Jack Leaning off Jordan Cox's bat? It is indeed. Jordan Cox goes. There's a punch in the air of delight from Matt Parkinson, and no surprise there. They know how dangerous Jordan Cox is. Looked a little bit toe-endy as he's tried to drive that one. It's gone over the bowler's head, but it has fallen way short of the boundary. Jack Leaning comes, sets himself in the end, made it look a pretty comfortable catch, and Jordan Cox has gone, and that is a big blow for Kent. It's gone way up in the air. Leaning made early ground to it, and in the end just settled underneath. You could see how important he knew it was as well. Big smiles from Kent. Jordan Cox has gone, and Essex are 67 for 2 here in the 9th over, chasing 220 to win.
He knew as soon as he'd hit that one, Jordan Cox, that he hadn't got the whole of it, and he was already walking as Jack Leaning got himself under it to take the catch. I mean, Essex are in trouble here, 67 for 2. They've lost 2 of those players that you would hope would go on to make big scores in the chase of 220 to win. Michael Pepper, who last season in the T20 Blast hit 2 centuries. Jordan Cox, who's been the top scorer for Essex this season. And Paul Walter, the 6'7" all-rounder, will join Dean Elgar at the crease. More than capable, experienced player in T20, the 100, the Big Bash. Oh.
Bowled him. Middle stump. Matt Parkinson has done him first ball, and he's on a hat-trick. And Paul Walters played all round that one, and it has taken the middle stump. Goodness me. Well, that is another big scalp for Kent. Just going to the replay again. Yeah, that has turned out from outside the left-hander's off stump. Come in as with the natural leg spinner. A lot of rotations. Yeah, that has spun, and Matt Parkinson has absolutely done Paul Walter there. First ball he goes, and trouble for Essex here, no doubt about that. There's still a way back, there's still runs in this pitch, but 2 in 2 balls for Matt Parkinson, and Kent in a very good mood at the moment. 67 for 3, the Essex Eagles.
I talked him up, didn't I? But this has been the story for Essex. Those players with the quality, with the experience, not able to find the runs when needed for Essex so far this season.
Hat-trick ball, final one of the 9th over. Matt Parkinson bowls to Luke Benkenstein. It's a wide down the leg side. I think Sam Billings has might have been taking the bails off there, but wasn't the delivery from Matt Parkinson. The umpire at the far end is exchanging a joke with Parkinson, who now bowls to Benkenstein. Gives that air as well, driven. It's a little bit out of control, that one into the offside. Not quite where Benkenstein wanted to hit it, but it's gone for a single in the end, fielded by Harry Finch, and that's been a very productive over indeed for Kent. And some real hard work now for Essex to do. They made 10 off it, but they lost Jordan Cox for 21, and the following ball, Paul Walter for none, both to the bowling of Matt Parkinson.
Yeah, really disappointing from an Essex point of view. And it's rather quietened down the Chelmsford crowd as well, who would have been hoping that Elgar and Cox could have built a partnership. Leaning is in, and that's flighted over the top by Benkenstein. A one bounce to 4, and that does get a round of applause for the Essex youngster with 99 on his back, finding the boundary from the first ball of Jack Leaning's second over. Essex 73 for 3.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of this young man, but that was a very convincing shot indeed. Thought he bowled pretty well as well, all things considered.
Promising all-rounder. Essex, another of the England under-19 graduates who's gone up in the air. He's gone big, he has gone 6. Back over the head of Jack Leaning, and that's got this crowd back up on their feet again as Luke Benkenstein and Dean Elgar at the crease looking to rescue Essex. 79 for 3.
Now then, cometh the hour, cometh the Luke maybe. Yeah, that's been thumped down the ground. Jack Leaning has to regroup this time.
Leaning bowls, and Benkenstein will pick out a fielder in the deep this time. He split it through the covers. They think about coming back for 2. Benkenstein was sent back by Elgar and just about gets back into his ground as the ball comes into the bowler. 80 for 3. Benkenstein is on 12 from 4. Elgar back on strike, has been watching all this activity unfold around him. He's on 40. Leaning is into Elgar, who drives along the ground to long off for a single. A bit more noise around Chelmsford now. They're rather quiet after 2 quick wickets. That of Jordan Cox, caught by Jack Leaning off the bowling of Matt Parkinson, and then Paul Walter bowled first ball by the Kent spinner as Leaning is in. Full of delivery, which was driven to long on by Benkenstein. Jogs through for a single. 82 for 3.
Yeah, ball to come of this over. It's been a decent one too, considering they've lost 2 wickets in the previous over. 13 was this second Jack Leaning over.
Leaning bowls again. Full to Elgar, drives to long on, takes the single, does the left-hander from the final ball of Jack Leaning's over. Slightly healthier from Essex, having lost 2 wickets in the previous. 83 for 3.
Indeed, just looking back at where Kent were at halfway. So 94 for 1, yeah, at that point. So, but I mean, it's obvious that Essex are a little bit behind at this point. So what the DLS is for the next over. The par score is 107, so yeah, they are a bit behind, but a couple of big overs, as I said, just makes that up. Parkinson to Elgar, swing and a miss. That's a good ball from Parkinson. Elgar off balance as he tries to pull that away. And that will be a dot ball to start for Matt Parkinson. He's weaving a web here. Again, lots of air outside the left-hander's off stump. Elgar ends up just steering that to Tuanda Mieye at point for a single. And required rate up now to something like 14 and over. But Essex don't need telling that. They need some big overs here. Parkinson to Benkenstein. He's gone big again, and that will be 6 over Cow Corner. Fred Clarkson, who's a tall man, was looking hopefully up in the air at that, and then had to give it up because that's gone over the advertising hoardings for a maximum, and Luke Benkenstein has got himself well and truly into this game. 19 from 6 already, and that was 6. Goodness me. In here, just a handful of balls. Goes for this one. Oh, its toe ended up in the air. Jaden Denley's underneath it, settles himself and catches. Well, goodness me, I thought for a moment he dropped that one. He went down on his back, but rolled over, kept the ball in his hands. There was a stay. You could hear the Chelmsford crowd taking a breath in, hoping he dropped it. But Jaden Denley comes back up with the ball, and Luke Benkenstein, well, in the end, it is just a cameo from him. 19 off 7 balls. Jaden Denley catches him, the sub-fielder, and a promising start, but no more than that. 90 for 4, Essex now in the 11th, needing 220 to win in total.
Well, he likes to go big and go quickly, does Luke Benkenstein, and he was certainly doing that, just didn't get the whole of that one, and will have to depart for 19. And well, this is what Essex have to do, isn't it? They need to be aggressive, they need to find those boundaries because they are behind the rate, but also they have lost those wickets up to Matt Critchley, who by his standards hasn't had the best of T20 blast campaigns with the bat for Essex. Now is the moment, now is the chance, but Matt Parkinson bowling really well here.
Yeah, powerful player. 3 for 20 so far for Parkinson. Again, looping at his fellow leg spinner, driven down the ground, stopped by Jack Leaning on the boundary. Rogers in relay will throw it back. Neat work between the two of them. They get applause from their teammates. And but it does go for 2 runs to start off. Sorry, it was just a single. I kept it down to a single, beg your pardon.
I think they wanted the 2.
Yeah, they certainly did. It was good work in the end. Chatley probably stopping it home for 4. Parkinson has, Elgar's just completely mishit that one. Deceived by the spin and cloths it into the onside. It's a dot ball. End of that Matt Parkinson over then, and 91 for 4. It's 8 off it, but also what could be a key wicket, certainly the way Luke Benkenstein was hitting the ball. Essex would have loved him to stay in for a longer spell. He was in there for a good time, rather than a long time, unfortunately for them. 91 for 4 then, still needing 129 to win here, with the required rate just a little bit above 14 now.
Joey Everson back into the attack from the Sir Alistair Cook end for Kent. Matt Critchley with a single from that previous over will be the batter on strike. Comes forward to meet that delivery from Everson into the leg side. Just the single for Essex. Again, Dean Elgar, the opener, back onto strike. 92 for 4.
Joey Everson 8 off his first, I was about to say set of 6. Someone told me off that the other day, because it's a set is not, it's not T20, is it?
Everson is in. That's pulled by Elgar. He'll beat the fielder in the leg side and get a 4 for his troubles. 96 for 4. He moves on to 47.
Yeah, tricky for Elgar here, because he's going at about 130. It's a decent strike rate, and he's also the player that's in. So does he need to make sure he's there at the end, or does he need to swing?
Everson is in. That's along the ground from Elgar, who's running hard. Was thinking about the second. Settles for the single as the throw comes in. 1 added to the total. 97 for 4. Elgar on 48.
So Matt Critchley's more than capable, isn't he? Explosive batter himself. 2 off 2 balls to start.
Everson over the wicket to Critchley, and that one will drop safe in front of long on. For a moment there, I thought Jack Leaning was going to come in and dive for that one, but it drops in front of him, and Critchley comes to the non-striker's end. 3 on the board now for him. 98 for 4 for Essex. 2 balls to come. Everson is in for the delivery, which is just getting Dean Elgar to reach for it. He can't get any pace on it. Takes the single.
Yeah, it's a good ball from Everson there. It's taken pace off again. It's floating just outside the, a bit outside the off stump, making Elgar stretch, but also good full length.
Leaving Essex on 99 and Elgar on 49, as that's into Critchley, turned into towards the fielder at mid-wicket for a dot ball to finish. 99 for 4 now for Essex, and we have had 12 overs.
Yeah, so they need boundaries here, no doubt about that. Essex 99 for 4, still needing 121 to win. 8 overs to go. As Elgar looks around the field here, Matt Parkinson will bowl his final over, 3 for 21 from his 3 so far. In the context of the game, with Kent scoring 219, this is like a good spell so far. Elgar just punches the ball back past the leg spinner, up to long off, and that will be his 50 from 36 balls, Dean Elgar, and applause from the Essex crowd. 5 fours and 1 6. Can he make this the telling innings? At the moment, Critchley on strike to Parkinson, up in the air, Mieye underneath it, and has caught him, and Matt Critchley goes sweeping, and it's a punch of the air again from Matt Parkinson, who has his 4th wicket for 22, and again, high quality batter, just not able to capitalise. And Parkinson takes the wicket with his leg spin, and yeah, he's reached to sweep that, too much top edge, square leg comes in to Mieye and catches him, and it looks like at this point Dean Elgar needs to play that anchor innings, and perhaps he's playing the nap hand here. 104-5 then Essex. Critchley goes, and in comes Charlie Allison to replace him, with a long way to go. 120 still needed here in the 13th over.
When you need runs and you have a total like 220 to chase, we've said it a few times in this T20 competition so far, you need the likes of Matt Critchley, Paul Walter, Jordan Cox to make those scores.
Yeah, it's very fair. Charlie Allison is now charged with doing that. It's always beaten him outside the off stump. The leg spinner, he's felt for it, and it's Parkinson's got some grip, and that's a very decent ball indeed to start for Allison. Just having a look. Actually got a 3, by the way. Parkinson 2. Allison, he's done him. He's done him once again. He's really feeling for that one outside the off stump, and nowhere near the pitch the ball, Charlie Allison. And Parkinson, well, 4 balls have gone for a single and a wicket so far, 2 to come from him. Parkinson bowls now to Allison, drives it up to long off. He'll get himself a single, and off strike. But Matt Parkinson has bowled a really, really good spell tonight for Kent. Just looking at his yeah, he needs another wicket for his best, put it that way. 4 for 9, his best T20 return. Oh, and he's done it! Matt Parkinson has done Dean Elgar, and that is his career best figures. Parkinson, a bit like Paul Walter, middle stump, he's bowled him. Again, it's pitched just outside off stump or on off stump. It's gripped and turned. Matt Parkinson has a 5 for a real rarity in T20 cricket. His career high in this form of the sport. 5 for 23 he has, and with Elgar gone, Essex are in real trouble here. You wonder how they'll come back from this. They will need some colossal overs. Matt Parkinson goes off to take his cap. He'll be a very happy man indeed.
It just goes from bad to worse for Essex. Dean Elgar, who's, look, the best of the Essex batters goes, and Matt Parkinson really getting a lot out of this pitch. We saw Luke Benkenstein take a wicket with spin, but otherwise for Essex, well, what was it, Simon Harmer with 1 as well, but it looks like he's getting so much success with how he's bowling. Into the 14th over, Everson is in. That's slapped away by Charlie Allison just for a single. He's been joined by Noah Thane at the crease, so 2 Essex youngsters who actually finished the game at Middlesex in the middle together. They were the 2 out there looking to guide Essex to a first win of the T20 campaign last night. As it was, they ended up losing by that 1 run, as Everson is into Thane for his first ball, turns it into the leg side for a single.
Well, I'd say with Parkinson, what he does do, as you see, he's not afraid to bowl slow, which is it's not an easy thing to do in T20 cricket, but to give the ball a lot of air, a lot of rotations, sometimes you can come up unstuck in spectacular fashion, but this evening it's worked.
Everson in with a bouncer, which is going to be called as a wide, as Charlie Allison waits to see what the umpire decides.
It's a wide ball. It felt like it was in Joey Everson's half when it bounced there, wasn't it? It's gone for a looping one. He's asking the umpire. I mean, he's taken pace off it as well, but umpire says that is a wide.
104 for 6. Everson is in with a short delivery, legal delivery, and it's dispatched by Charlie Allison. A couple of bounces to the boundary rope for 4, 108 for 6.
Yeah, that's absolutely whistled past Nathan Gilchrist. Didn't move a muscle because that was going so fast from that aggressive shot from Charlie Allison. Goodness me, that's absolutely flown past Gilchrist's left ear.
He's on 6, taps his bat, Charlie Allison. And that one is given some flight, and it's going to bounce to the fielder at long off for a single for Essex, who have had a really disappointing start to this T20 Blast campaign, and Everson is in. Another short delivery, which is just played out into the offside by Fane. Good rotation going on between these two, but really with Essex 6 down and way behind the rate, 110 for 6. It's not going to be enough for this Chelmsford crowd to see a win before we return to the county championship action. Everson is into Allison. That one is clipped up to long on. Just a single again for Essex as night falls in the county city. End of the over, 111 for 6.
Yeah, they're good at the stage now, aren't they, where it's required rate even is 18, so it's not a question of needing a boundary and over or 2 boundaries and over. They just need to absolutely fly from here, and they're 5 down. Thane and Charlie Allison, 2 young players chatting to each other, hoping obviously that this is a famous comeback for the Eagles. At the moment, Kent in control. They bring back Fred Clarkson, who's gone for just 7 off his 2 overs so far, because we are in the death overs now. Well, not quite in the death overs, but here we are. It's going to be caught as well. Clarkson takes a wicket. He has 1 for 7, as Charlie Allison, what he had to go for it, has thumped that into the offside. Daniel Bell-Drummond's moved a couple of places to his right and caught that low down, and that is another wicket down. 7 down now. Charlie Allison goes. I mean, he didn't have any option really, did he, against Clarkson? He had to swing. He's not made a great contact on it. It's up in the air. Bell-Drummond catches. Allison's gone for 8, and Essex are 1 for 7.
That's the key for some of the fans here at Chelmsford to, well, some of them to depart, some of them to maybe see if they can get another drink in. The captain, Simon Harmer, is joining Noah Thane at the crease, and what is increasingly looking like a lost cause for Essex, who sit bottom of the Southern Group in the T20 Blast. Just those couple of points from the no result against Sussex coming last Friday night.
Yes, Kent know from last year, if you lose momentum in this competition, it's very hard to get back. But Clarkson bowling to Simon Harmer now, tucks this into the onside, and they'll take just a single there, with Jaden Denley coming into field. So just the 1 to the total, 112 for 7. John Hanson gone for 8. The bowling of Fred Clarkson, who hasn't been at his best in this tournament so far, but certainly very economical this evening. Kent have found something in this pitch, which Essex didn't, I think it's fair to say. Clarkson bowling to Thane, drives that. Still knocks onto the back foot and drives it up to Tom Rogers at mid-off, but it's just a single taken. So 113 for 7. And still need 107 to win, so only just over halfway, but they're in the 15th over here. on BBC Essex and BBC Radio Kent. And Kent hoping this will be the match that they bounce back from that defeat against Gloucestershire midweek. Clarkson to Harmer. That's a good shot, swings that away behind square, and that'll be 4 runs. And Essex Eagles fans want something to cheer here, and they're not afraid to either. With Harmer, the captain, hitting that one for 4. But they need plenty more of those now, with the required rate up near 20 and over. There we are. There's an Eagles shout for you. Here's Clarkson to Harmer. Good shot, that one. It's a good ball deep in the crease by Clarkson. It's driven up to long on, and Jack leaning fields. 1 to come, 7 off the over so far. Sam Billings with the cap off, the Kent captain now, just making more changes to the field for Noah Thane. Backward square, mid-wicket in, and Thane goes towards mid-wicket. Jaden Denley goes across to field that. Gets some helpful advice from the Lesons behind him, but one who's miming him missing it by a mile. Unfortunately for Essex Sport, he didn't. It's thrown back in. 119 for 7 at the end of the 15th over then for Essex. It's 8 more, but they will require 101 from 5 overs now. The equation is pretty simple. I say pretty simple, 20 and a bit. Maths on the radio, everybody. So yeah, Joey Everson will continue.
And Noah Thane is on strike for Essex, as Everson is in from the Sir Alistair Cook end with a wide ball to start his 4th over with.
Yeah, that's pretty wide. So yeah, Clarkson 1 for 15 from his 3. Good return.
120 for 7. Everson in, and that is up in the air from Thane. That should be caught in the field, and it is held onto by Jaden Denley. And Essex lose their 8th wicket. Noah Thane skying the Everson delivery. He'll depart for 4, and the inevitable is closing in for Essex, 120 for 8.
Yeah, it's difficult for these Essex batters at this point. They're a mile away from where they need to be and have to swing. And Simon Harmer and Sam Billings having a conversation with an arm on the shoulder from Sam Billings, perhaps just a brief chat about what's happened earlier in the game, not sure, but all looks good-natured. But for Essex here, it's pretty desperate for them. 120 for 8. And I'd say from a Kent point of view, and no consolation short of Essex fans, but Kent certainly know what it's like to be on a losing streak and not know how to get out of a hole. And this one doesn't look like it's going to be the game.
There's a rather dejected looking Essex balcony away to our right-hand side. Players watching on, having seen a collapse which has been all too common so far in the T20 blast from Essex. Shane Snater's a new man in. He has gone high, and that will be caught. It will. Good catch on the boundary. Shane Snater was looking for 6. Instead, it's a wicket, and he departs first ball. And really, I'm not quite sure what else to say about that. 120 for 9.
I would add that's a pretty special catch from Harry Finch. Looks like it's going over his head. Momentum might have taken him over the rope, but he's caught that really well. Backward roll as he did it. But again, for Essex fans, no consolation for that, is there really, that it's an excellent catch. And Simon Harmer still talking to Sam Billings. I think the umpires are going over.
I think Essex are in a difficult place because you're so far behind the rate, you've got to hit big, but you're also have lost that many wickets. There is a real conversation going on between Sam Billings and Simon Harmer. Who knows what it's about, but the umpires are just coming across to either calm things down or just have a chat as well. We have no idea of the nature of it. Mohammed Amir into bat for Essex. Final wicket stand, but Essex are set to finish this block of T20 blast matches without a win and sitting bottom of the group. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. No, I'm not. Joey Everson to bowl to Mohammed Amir then, who turns that one round the corner into the leg side for a single. So we've had a wide and 2 wickets. 121 for 9. Sorry, I should have let you take it as a hat-trick ball.
Don't worry, that's fine.
I got distracted by my sneeze, sorry.
But yeah, you could see from, I said, I know there's been a bit of chat between Simon Harmer and Sam Billings, but Simon Harmer, you know, the sort of professional he is and the quality he is, he must be so frustrated out there for a start.
Everson is in, and that one is just knocked into the offside for a dot ball by Simon Harmer. I don't mean this in a patronising way, Matt, but you've mentioned it a couple of times about Kent knowing what it's like to be in Essex position. What would you say to Essex supporters who are listening now and will be probably feeling quite frustrated and dejected by what they've seen as Everson is in full delivery, and that will drop safe for Simon Harmer, who comes through for the single, 122 for 9.
It's really tough, isn't it? Because it's the nature of sport, isn't it? That what goes on between the years is so important. It's all very well talking about talent and promise, but somehow you have to get yourself out of this funk, and sometimes it is I mean, it's a bit of a cliche, but it's a bit of luck. It's you know, especially in this game where batters can be up 1 minute, down the next.
Everson into Amir, who clubs that one into the leg side for no run, and Amir stamps the ground with his bat. He is not happy about something. Don't know if that's at himself or anything else, but end of the over, 122 for 9, end of the 16th.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a coach, so I don't know exactly, you know, what the motivation is. Adam Hollyoake said to me the other day that this will ring for Essex supporters, that their former England captain Keith Fletcher once said to Adam Hollyoake when he was in a funk, that he said, look mate, you're never 2 boundaries away from being back in form, or or the other way round, you're never 2 defeats away from being in a slump, basically. And that's the fickle nature of this game, isn't it? And it can be very hard psychologically to get yourself out of it. Gilchrist to Harmer, swings at that one out towards mid-wicket. The other thing I would say is Kent don't know how to do that at the moment in the county championship. They've lost 4 in a row, and they are in a real hole. But maybe it is just 1 win. The other straw to clutch at is Hampshire. What was that, 3 years ago? Didn't win their first 7 games, won the tournament. So there we are. It's doable. Gilchrist to Harmer. It launches that into the onside from a full toss. And he's deciding not to run. Mohammed Amir he's just leaning on his bat. It's not a question of not being able to take a run. He's not doing it. I mean, there's a shake of the head from Simon Harmer, and a deep breath in. I think he's an angry man out there, as Gilchrist bowls to him now, and takes it out on the ball and on Nathan Gilchrist, and that is into the flats at the Hayes Close end, and that's a mighty 6 from Simon Harmer. Well, I wonder if this is any sort of therapy for him, but that is a mighty big hit. There was venom in that one. Nathan Gilchrist has bowled that, not a terrible delivery. It's outside off stump. Maybe you'd say it's in the slot, but Harmer has just rocked back and absolutely creamed that over long on 4-6. They're not finding that one, are they?
No, we're going to have a check of some alternative balls.
Oh goodness me, that was a big shot. But yeah, I think this is a measure perhaps of the frustration of Simon Harmer. He's not going to allow this to peter out. He wants to get some pride back perhaps for himself as well as the team, and that's hit some a mighty 6 there. 13 from 8 now. Nathan Gilchrist, number 23, is the man that's taking the tap, as Harmer waits for him, slams it into the ground. He's not running. He's not allowing Mohammed Amir to get on strike here, and wanders off to square leg, glowering at the umpire. Probably not at the umpire, I shouldn't say that, but yeah, 128 for 9 now. As Gilchrist bowls, Harmer goes for that one, straight through to Sam Billings. He swung and got nothing on it. Sam Billings applauds his bowler, looking away from Simon Harmer. Doesn't want to provoke him. 92 to win then, with 20 balls remaining. You'll see that the game is almost up. I suppose from Simon Harmer's point of view, he says if anyone's going to hit 5 sixes in the next few overs, it's going to have to be me. Nathan Gilchrist takes some advice from Tom Rogers, but this game surely is up. End of the 17th over, last ball of it, 128 for 9. Nathan Gilchrist now bowls it to Simon Harmer. That's up in the air, and that'll go into the flats as well. Goodness me, that's a huge blow. Has that hit the roof? It's certainly gone high up on the flats at the Hayes Close end. That's 6 more. 12 off the over from Simon Harmer. 134 for 9. That end of that over, perhaps with Mohammed Amir on strike for the 18th, has been the signal for more Essex Eagles fans to leave the ground, because assuredly now the game is up. Essex 134 for 9. They need 86 to win off 3 here.
Yeah, you can tell the body language. He's frustrated, he's angry as the Essex captain, Simon Harmer, but he's trying to use that with his bat out there, and he'll be determined to not go down without a fight while he's on strike. Mohammed Amir will have to face Fred Clarkson, who for the first time is bowling from the Sir Alistair Cook end. He's taken 1 wicket from the other end. He's into Amir, who just dabs that one in down into the ground, and has been watching Simon Harmer hit sixes for fun at the other end. Gets himself a single, 135 for 9.
Yeah, very deliberately played, wasn't it, into the wide open spaces on the offside to get his captain back on strike.
Simon Harmer, 19 from 11. Waits for the arrival of Clarkson. Over the wicket, shorter ball, and that one will be a bounce in front of the fielder, kept inside the boundary rope. I did think that may well be heading for us at long on, where Simon Harmer is batting, but from underneath this river stand, it's fielded on the bounce, and Simon Harmer has elected not to run, as Clarkson is in. Another short delivery. Will that be caught on the boundary? No, it's over the head of Harry Finch on this occasion. That's a flat 6 from Simon Harmer out towards the hospitality marquee next to the pavilion, and 141 for 9. Essex still well off that target of 220, but the Essex captain Simon Harmer won't go down without a fight.
Bit of a firework display, at least for the fans here, the Essex fans that have stayed to watch their team.
In comes Clarkson, another short delivery, which is just played into the ground by Harmer. You can't get that one away, and no interest in trying to come through for a quick single now. He's only dealing in boundaries, is Harmer. 25 from 14. 14 balls to come, but it is still that huge title of 79 to win, as Clarkson is in, and Harmer has hit that one to the fielder, who I think it comes off his chest as they come back 4-2. They're going to get there as well, and it's certainly given the crowd here at Chelmsford something to cheer about, to see the Essex captain Simon Harmer go for boundaries in this last wicket stand. 143 for 9.
Well, certainly entertaining the crowd. This is a game of entertainment after all, isn't it? And those at the stade being...
Clarkson is in, another short delivery, turn around the corner by Simon Harmer. He's guided that one to the fine leg boundary for 4 runs, 147 for 9. That's the end of Fred Clarkson, 1 for 24 from his 28, from his 4 overs. And while Essex aren't going to win this one, they are certainly trying to give the Chelmsford crowd some entertainment in the form of the Essex captain Simon Harmer.
Yeah, that needed to go for 6 to have any remaining chance of it going, unless Kent overstep at this point. So 73 to win, from 2 overs. Kent just need to keep it on the island at this point. Tom Rogers back into the attack. Sam Billings marshalling his troops. Kent Spitfires looking forward perhaps to a celebration here. Rogers to Amir, just touches that into the offside. They go for a quick run, shy at the stumps by Everson at the non-striker's end, but Simon Harmer pumps through to the striker's end. We're back on strike now. This will be interesting. Tom Rogers has gone for 17 off 2 with the wicket early on of Michael Pepper. There's been 50 from Dean Elgar. Otherwise, it's been cameos. 21 against his former side for Jordan Cox. 8 for Charlie Allison. 19 from Luke Benkinson. Everybody else in single figures. Here's Rogers now to bowl to Harmer. Swings, and that'll go 6 runs. That'll hit the flats on the onside for Simon Harmer. Mind your windows. That'll be 6 more. And I have to say, I love this. It's really, really roused the crowd here. They're going out with a bang rather than a whimper, I think, is the idea here. Sam Billings in conversation with Matt Parkinson. They know the game's won, but still there's some damage being done by Simon Harmer. Is the ball going to come back?
I think it's a good job it wasn't a little bit squarer, because there are a couple of people out on the boundary, on the balcony, sorry, of that block of flats just away to the side, so they just watched that one sail past.
Here's Rogers to come into Harmer. Crowd chivying Harmer up for another big blow, and he does. It's down the ground. Jaden Denley won't get there. It's 6 more from Simon Harmer. Well, it will be ridiculous to talk about net run rate at this point in Essex's T20 blast over this summer, but Simon Harmer is, I'm not sure he's exactly enjoying it. He's getting something out of his system here. He has 43 from 18 balls. It's still 60 to win off 9 balls, so that's not going to happen. But
Should he have come in earlier?
Rogers to Harmer, 6 more! It's explosive, it's the roof this time. Doesn't get caught by the guttering. As you were saying, Victoria, there are people there on the balcony and having a cheery wave now, even though that ball from Simon Harmer has been smashed onto their roof. I think all the tyres have stayed on. They've obviously got somebody very good doing that for them. And he has gone, Tom Rogers, who is no mug, it's fair to say, with the ball, has gone for 3 consecutive 6s. Simon Harmer putting some beef into this.
It's entertaining, but Essex needed someone to do this earlier in the innings. I guess this is Simon Harmer's reaction to what has happened, and that is why we are seeing this. But this is, he's channeling it, but just needed one of that. There's entertainment, but there's frustration that this couldn't happen earlier.
Rogers was trying to come in for the next delivery. There's boos from the crowd here because Rogers is sent back. I think maybe there was still a field change going on. Rogers comes in. Will it be a 4th consecutive 6 from Harmer? Tees off. It will be. Oh, this is amazing. And people are on their feet applauding because that is a 20-ball 50 from Simon Harmer. He's brought it up with a Carlos Brathwaite of 4 6s. Superb from him, and late entertainment, and Kent fans can already celebrate. Perhaps they can enjoy this, I'm not sure. If it were closer, they'd be hiding behind the sofa right now. But Simon Harmer, will it be a 5th 6 off Tom Rogers? Bowls now, Harmer, it's up in the air, will it be caught? It will. It's a very, very good catch from Harry Finch once again. Tosses it over his shoulder. There's some half-hearted boos. A fine hurrah by Simon Harmer at the end. 55 off 20 balls he goes for. 172 for 9. They finish Essex. A win though by 47 runs for Kent Spitfires, who made 19 for 3 off their overs. We had some fun at the end, certainly, some entertainment from some big hitting from Simon Harmer. That won't hide the fact for Essex fans that it's still no wins in this season's T20 Blast. For Kent, they've got rid of a poor performance from their minds on Wednesday against Gloucestershire. They go into Sunday's game against Lancashire in the County Championship, at least with a little bit of momentum. They're trying to end a 4-game losing streak there, but it is a win for Kent Spitfires. We've seen some performances this evening. 100 for Tawanda Mayeye from 58 balls in Kent's innings. A 5 for Matt Parkinson, the first ever 5-wicket haul for him. And then Simon Harmer, it was late, but it was great. 55 from 21.
Yeah, the start to the T20 Blast campaign for Essex has been really disappointing, and it's been a similar story throughout with the bat and the ball, in the fact that they haven't bowled well enough collectively across the start of this competition. They haven't managed to take those wickets. There's been some really expensive overs as well, which are so costly, and then when you're not able to match that with the bat, when you've got players who are more than capable of scoring runs but just haven't gone on to make those scores, then you're never going to be able to chase those down. And we just saw last night a team short of confidence who found a way to lose a game that they looked for all your money that they were going to win at the halfway stage. This evening, again, no one going on bar Dean Elgar with his half century in that top order to really make any kind of score and stick around and put pressure on the Kent bowlers, who found more out of this pitch here at Chelmsford than the Essex bowlers did. Simon Harmer coming in when it all was lost already, too little too late, but really showing his anger and frustration with a very entertaining end and a very entertaining 55 from 21 balls for him. But the post-mortem certainly for this block of T20 Blast games will ensue, and a reset for the County Championship. County Championship game against Hampshire, which begins here on Sunday for Essex. Again, in that competition, a win would be very handy for where Essex currently sit in the table. But we will dissect tonight's performance and the start of this T20 Blast, and reaction to come on BBC Sounds and BBC Essex Bulletins for you from an Essex point of view.
Victoria, thank you very much. And of course, yes, you'll hear reaction from both these sides in our respective bulletins tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for listening online with BBC Essex and BBC Radio Kent. For BBC Radio Kent DAB listeners now, we're going to return you to Camilla McInnes's show. Thanks again, once again, from Victoria Polly and from me, Matt Cole, for listening to cricket tonight. It's ended with a win for Kent by 47 runs against Essex here at Chelmsford.
Well, we're pitch side for the presentation this evening, and our Woodland Group Essex player of the match after hitting 55 of 21 at the end there. It's our captain, Simon Harmer. Harmy, a disappointing result. At the midpoint, if we backtrack, 220 chase, what was the mentality in the dressing room? Ready to go? Yeah, always ready to go. They probably got more than they should have, but like credit to Tawanda, he played an incredible innings. Not taking anything off them, but yeah, I mean, it's just not going our way at the moment. Pretty frustrating, but yeah, it is what it is. We've got to pick ourselves up. So much cricket still to go in this format. Obviously, jumping to red ball on Sunday. Spoke to Coxie earlier. How does that affect you as players? Is it useful sometimes to jumping in and out of formats? This obviously ends an intense block of T20 cricket. Opportunity to reset, regroup? Yeah, I think it'll be a good break for us. 2 weeks away, come back, 6 games left, and if we win all 6, we still got a chance, and that's got to be our mentality. We're going to give it everything that we've got. I can guarantee you that. So yeah, hopefully these 2 weeks will be good for us. And finally, a word for the support tonight. A bumper crowd. A word for them, because they're right behind us. Yeah, I think the Chelmsford faithful is always amazing. Good to hear them giving the Kent boys some gears on the boundary. But yeah, they obviously want to come out here and see us win, and we haven't been able to produce that for them.
but hopefully after this 4-day block we can repay their faith in us and get some wins on the board.
Well, we're right behind you, Harmy. Ladies and gentlemen, our Woodland Group Player of the Match. We've got a guest, Joe Dale, presenting the award there. And we've also got George from a little bit earlier on. Thanks, Joe. George, come over. You can get your shirt signed by Simon. Well, other than that, thank you very much for your support tonight. Stick with us, stick behind the team. You can join us again on Friday the 4th of July when Essex take on Gloucestershire. Tickets are still available. You can visit essexcricket.org.uk to purchase your tickets. Other than that, thanks again for your support. Have a safe journey home, and we'll see you again very soon.